meta heroes like Caravan Ranger, Necrophos having that dispel available, and also Falcons, they've been using this hero as a counter to Undying in the lane.
I would say post.
Yeah, keep in mind that there is one change that might make a difference here for Extreme Gaming, because we have a different coach for Extreme Gaming compared to what they had at TI, of course, with Maps joining in, so they get a little bit of fresh air there and a fresh take on how to take Team Falcons down. And I know Slack said that, you know, there won't be any key crushing today. Like, things can play out really unfortunate for Extreme Gaming if they are not on their A game here today, and then we might be talking about crushing keys.
Absolutely. I mean, I believe they're sitting at 4 points, and Game Legion is sitting at 3. So if Game Legion were to win their series and Extreme to lose 2-0, then now we're talking about them getting knocked out of the group stage. So, and that would be a huge blunder. I think that team is really the Chinese
none of the teams
first hope, I would say. The Chinese team first hope, and TI being in China, like everybody expects that team to deliver results, and it starts with this tournament, shortly. You know, with that being said, I don't feel like what is causing the losses to Extreme is necessarily them not being on par with the best teams in the world. I think it's more about strategy and the approach to the meta and how the game is being played right now. I do feel like they're quite far behind.
I guess what it does give you is a bit more safety and security in the early game, because you already know you're facing a dark
every team gets to play one series a day, so they have a lot of time to actually recollect, like check the replays, dissect what has happened, also maybe take a look at what other teams are doing, so we can see a new version of these teams, like from one day to the other. It's absolutely not impossible. This is not your typical group stage where teams have to play 4 series or 3 series a day and they're just like completely exhausted, and the downtime is only for rest. Like, downtime here is to build and to,
because you see poor Rangers already have an excellent team fight lineup.
I wouldn't be surprised that Extreme drew the right conclusions from yesterday and come in today with a completely new outlook on the game, and
they are fighting an uphill battle anyway,
right? Should you maybe just put your eggs in the other basket of aggressively
progressing? Yeah, but what's the other basket? They already have Cash, they already have Roche, they already have
wave
damage.
Push. I would like to see a little bit of wave push, maybe map play.
I mean, this is a good hero, like wave clear hero and damage and team fight. I think she's precisely the answer that you were looking for. They needed something that helps them shove the wave, helps them pressure. Very good with the Roshan as well, with the Shredder. He synergizes really well with the Slada. It's just I think this is a very, very good pick. It might not be the most conventional lane with Mirana, but this is the pick that would tie their whole draft together. And as I said, you know, teams are starting to realize maybe it's not so bad to pick a weaker lane as long as the heroes work well in the mid and the late game. You have a purpose mid-late game.
Yeah, I think the key thing that we noted with the Snapfire the last time Rune Eaters played it is the amount of lane pressure it can provide, right? It was laning with another ranged hero, I can't recall who now, but Snapfire against a carry Kez just kept spamming the spells out. It was so hard for him to play. And now we're going to see the same thing again. Poor Rangers, they have a tough task because they need to pick a carry that works for TA 2000, or should I say Naive, as that's how he's going by this tournament. Typically likes his hard carries, goes for something a bit more active. The Wind Ranger's gonna come out.
Yeah, this is very nice against Slada. It's very difficult for Slada to chase and run you down.
But the lane though, like, I feel like, aren't you just gonna get nuked? You don't really have any sustain.
No, I don't think so. I think Disruptor I think Disruptor needed a strong laner. So whenever you have Disruptor in your game, you need to pick a core that to enable the first couple of waves. You need him to help the Disruptor. If you are a weak hero, Disruptor is going to suffer. But if you're a strong hero, you help the trades. So basically the idea here is you're fighting the Mirana as the Disruptor, you Thunder Strike him, and there's a Power Strike coming in. As long as you win the first couple of trades,
the Mirana can't really play,
the Mirana can't bully the Disruptor, you get some pulls off, then the game is going to be very nice, so you can roam around, especially go to the SF lane, get some kills. Because Disruptor is a very nice ganking hero. If you get your level 3 especially, you get level 3, you have 2 points in your glimpse. If you don't have to fight the lane, because if you contest the lane a lot, you need to take the second point in your Thunder Strike. It goes from 30 to 60 damage, so it's important to have that point in the lane. But if you're able to bypass the laning phase, you don't have to play the lane. Everything's nice and dandy for your carry. He doesn't need you. Then you can get the second point in glimpse, and that makes a huge difference when you're going through the gate or going to the rune to fight.
That makes a lot of sense. So you pick something like a Wind Ranger, she can stay put in the lane. She doesn't necessarily need you to get that second level in the Thunder Strike, and then that opens you up on the map.
You can if you need to.
Sure, yeah, but like the ideal situation if you want to make moves, right? And that is exactly what it feels like poor Rangers want to do. They want to get aggressive, they have nice late game scaling, they've got good team fight. I really like what I see on the poor Ranger side.
It's good understanding about like the hero matchup specifics and what you need to do. I would say support heroes, some of the support heroes, they need to be enabled by the core. We always hear people say, oh, the core players, they are the ones they need to enable. You pick this hero, you need, like, for example, you have SF, you need a body in the lane. But I think the same can be said for the supports. You pick a disruptor, if you don't have a right pairing in the lane, disruptor gets bullied, then the hero is going to be a non-factor in the game. So I think this actually works both ways, you know. And unfortunately, when you're playing pubs, it doesn't really work like that. Your cores are not going to do that for you. But that's what makes it different from the competitive games. Competitive games, it doesn't matter if you're a support, you're a core. If your hero needs something from the team understands that, they're going to try to give it to you. And I think we're going to see a game where this disruptor is going to pop off. I think he has the potential to set up a lot of things with the Darkseer, with the clock, and then with the wind to protect him in the lane. I think he has a lot of tools. So I think he should be a very, very key hero in this match to watch out, you know, for poor Rangers.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not the first time they've done it as well. This is not a random thing that they're just bringing out of nowhere. Disruptor is one of the heroes' signature to the poor Rangers lineup. They've been running it the past few days. They've had mixed success, and their overall score doesn't really tell the full story, because I think poor Rangers, they're a team with a lot of potential similar to Rune Eaters, right? We haven't really had the pleasure of covering them on our stream just yet. But just with the profile of the players, they've been around the block, they've had some sort of smaller achievements in the Tier 2, Tier 1.5 scene. You really want to root for these guys, right? Because they're kind of stuck together, they have been running under this tag, they have some interesting ideas and concepts. Like, I think the thing that stands out most to me on this team is Nicky Cool on the mid lane. He has some funky picks that kind of... I can't imagine how they would work in any other team, because he's the only guy playing Centaur War Runner mid. Right, he's playing Centaur War Runner mid. Sometimes
no, there's one more person.
Yeah. Okay, well, that one person isn't here at EWC, so he's not real to me. He's not ghost streaming. I don't care about Thompson. Sorry about that.
The way you looked at me, you already knew who I was.
You had a cheeky smile on your face. I know you're a big Thompson fan, Winter. Don't need to be shy. But yeah, I mean, jokes aside, Thompson's great and all, but I think trying to make that pick work in competitive takes a certain level of understanding on your team, right? So I think it's pretty interesting.
Any hero can work, Mike, as long as they have a purpose in the game.
And I think what I noticed, I'm sure you saw this as well with PR and their drafts, they seem to come into every single day with a very specific hero pairing or hero set that they want. Disruptor was definitely part of it. They had a day where they approached opponents specifically with X. So every single day they are trying to test out a specific idea. And this is kind of a big deal because, yes, it might be the end of the road here for PR, but they are also... like, there's still a very maybe some smaller tournaments for them up ahead for the rest of the season, and looking into the next, maybe they'll be sticking together. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the content during the break, but the vibes on this team seem so good. Like, I don't know, I don't think you were watching, Winter, but TA 2000, oh, first blood, Malik. Oh, we're not even watching. Okay, yep, they're just gonna get a cheeky kill onto TA. Wait, that's kind of a really big deal. How did they get that done? I guess a long range arrow.
Brother, it's Bane Mirana.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Sleep into arrow. Sorry, how else will they get the kill?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I did not see the Bane at all. Our screen was looking at.
What were you looking at, Mike? What were you?
I was looking at the screen in front of me. What about you?
I was looking at something else.
Okay, thank you very much. Dark Lord. Okay, wow. So both sides gonna get an early kill on the opposing carry.
Yeah, both carries reported right away.
Yeah. But okay, I just want to wrap this point out real quick. But I think PR, you know, they've got good vibes on the team. TA 2000 was answering questions. Nicky Cool was just flexing non-stop. They love each other there. It's kind of like Rune Eaters, right? A bunch of guys who just really enjoy playing together.
Yep, that's how they made the team.
Yeah?
You have one friend, you bring another friend, the other friend says that, I want to play with this person, and then you have 5 dudes playing on a team.
Yeah?
That's what Eki said yesterday.
Yeah, Eki also said on the media day, a little interview that he did, he was like, oh, you know, my favorite part of the team is my Kazakhstani brothers. I love playing with Ike and Malik. You know, that's cute. You know, they got a good friendship going on. The friendship ain't gonna take you far, because clearly, poor Rangers, bottom of the group here.
Well, friendship will keep you together.
Sure, yeah.
For a period of time, you know.
Unless an offer comes rolling in, and then that's screw friendship, I'm taking the money.
Yeah. Is our friendship gonna keep us together, Mike?
I think so.
Thank you so much.
Where did that come from? Are you...
You told me every day I'm driving you apart, you know. I'm driving you away every single day, and Disruptor is bringing the Mirana into the kill.
Yeah, maybe you just need to glimpse me right back next to you. I'm sure that'll work out. Eki surviving on a sliver, that was... Whew. It's what you said, right? As soon as they win the early trades, it's very hard for the Mirana to do work. She does have a self, so she was prepared for this.
This is not a lane that's easy to play for the snap. Snap, Mirana, it's not ideal. You want to have a melee hero. Tire's Clock, Spirit Breaker even. A body, you know. Like, Mirana is not a body. But I can understand why. I think the Snapfire just... It gives them everything they need in a draft. And sometimes you just can't have a pick that gives you everything. Like, you have to pick and choose what are you going to prioritize a lot more. And they're not really prioritizing the lane so much. Because the laning... I genuinely think the laning is just not as important as before.
Okay, just to clarify before you guys start flaming Winter for saying one thing and then saying another, he's not saying that lanes don't matter at all. He's just saying that even if you lose a lane, it's not that bad. However, if a Disruptor keeps gating over to your lane and getting these kills, enabling the cause, things could snowball out of control. There's a difference between winning, losing lane and finding a way back versus getting rolled over, right? It's about catapulting the lead.
This is what I'm saying, why the Disruptor needs a good pairing. Like how often you see Disruptor coming through the gate pre-3 minutes. It's a little bit too early. I'm not sure I'm a fan of it, but because they only killed the Bane. And I don't think it was worth it. The Bane was kind of like, I'm at half health, half mana.
Okay, hold that thought. Wouldn't you just say that the fact that they're pressuring the lane is good enough? Like, yeah, they're not killing Dark Lord, but he's not on the wave. Like, look at his levels. He's level 2.
Yeah, but still, ideally, you're paying a price for using the gate. There is a toll fee of 60 mana, and you need to use your spells to get the kill, and you go back to your lane. Your carry is looking at you. Why are you even coming back to my lane? You have no mana.
No. Ike just being annoying there, sleeping the creeps, just cancelling out the aggro. High level Bane play there. Just being a bit cheeky, but nothing to be found. Just kind of got to be careful on this Rune Ether safe lane early on, right? You step out of line just a little bit, the Darkseid and the Clockwork can very much kill you.
Copy is having a really good time. This is a good matchup. He counterpick the Puck with the Slada, so he's expected to have some sort of lead. And
Nicky Cool's still doing okay though.
Yeah, I mean Puck, you will lose this lane because of the you don't have armor. Slada spells are physical damage, and he is a melee hero which can withstand all your right clicks. He can have a better CS because he has a lot more regen in the water.
Yeah,
that's why Slada is great as a mid laner. It's not a hero we see a lot, but you need a particular reason why you're picking the Slada here. I think it's a great situation to pick the Slada because he serves two purposes. One, with the SF with the minus armor stacking, and two, he has a good lane matchup in the Puck.
Yeah, excellent pick there.
And you see how Aki is just getting bullied in this lane.
Yeah, it really does make me wonder.
2 points in the Thunderstrike.
We should have asked him about this actually in the interview, because when we saw the Mirana the first time, we were not convinced at all. And even now in this game, I get that it's a nice hero to have, but I can't imagine why he wouldn't go for something else on the pause 4.
I mean, they picked the Bane Mirana. They specifically wanted that combo.
Yeah,
Bane and Mirana.
Not cool though. I mean, they're not really... I guess it might be able to catch the Puck. They'll try and come over, steal away the Wisdom Shrine, thinking about the sleep into the arrow. Just need to dodge away from the silence. Okay. Try and set the arrow up. Come on. This is what you were waiting for. Arrow's there. Starstorm down. Still able to dodge. Nicky Cool gonna try and play his way out of this. Able to jaunt out. The supports will try and chase him down. Meanwhile, Immersion has dived Dark Lord again. A TP helps Nicky Cool get on out of there.
That was really bad spellcasting by Rune Eaters from Ike, and I think especially Ike. I think he had to wait a little bit longer before he used the sleep.
There was no rush, right? Really?
Yeah, because they needed to right-click him a little bit. I think they could have gotten like maybe 2 or 3 clicks, maybe at least 2 clicks on before he sleep. They can even wait for him to use his orb. I don't know if he already had mana at that point. Wait for the orb and then you sleep him so he can't jaunt to the orb and then you land the arrow.
Yeah, he was still bottling up. I think Nicky Cool definitely panicking a little bit there.
Not the best, I think, execution there from Rune Eaters.
Yeah, and it misses them the Puck kill. Now till the end rotating
over. And they
over.
lost the SF because they sent both the supports to hunt the Puck now.
Yeah. I will say though that Till the End has opted for 2 levels in the Thunderstrike, which means that he's only level 1 Glimpse. He could have pulled the Slada back in and prevented the Arcane Rune from being taken up, but the skill build actually harms him in this particular case.
Yeah, but he felt like he needs it for the laning phase.
Yeah, perhaps.
You can't have everything, Mike. Gotta choose.
I mean, I just thought that with how well TA2000 is doing...
yeah, but maybe he's doing so well because of the second point.
That's true, that's true. Which came first, the Thunderstrike or the perfect lane?
Yeah, was it the egg or was it the chicken, Mike?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But okay, thank you.
There'll be no answer
for the thicker viewer. Perhaps might not catch it on. It's fine. 7 minutes, no real aggressive moves just yet. But I think Poor Rangers are very happy with how this early game is going. Their important heroes are farming. Maybe the puck is taking some pressure, sure, but you kind of have to accept that as the hero getting counterpicked, right? As long as you can still, you know, find your farm, find your levels, and maybe look for a rotation into the winning lane of Alberca and Immersion, maybe you can pick up your net worth that way. This Darkseer is set up to have an excellent time. There's some stacks already for him. He's going to catapult in terms of net worth.
It's 9-pick Darkseer as an answer to the Shadow team. Very, very nice. Doing so well. Like later in the game, just very, very good against the SF. You can create 2 illusions, one with the wall and one with the punch.
Yeah.
You're just gonna make it very difficult for SF to stand his ground to fight. So, and not to mention the combo, you know, you have the Aghanim's Disruptor coming in at some point with the vacuum. That's a very, very deadly combo.
Yeah, I honestly wonder what the preparation was for Rune Eaters here against this Darkseer, because you pick the SF, you have to expect that your opponents on 9-pick are going to go for this hero, especially if their offlaner is comfortable. And Alberca loves his Darkseer. So I presently don't see what on Rune Eaters is supposed to quote-unquote counter this Darkseer, right? He's going to get a brilliant early item timing, and that might nullify a lot of the minus armor Rune Eaters are trying to play off of.
Looking for copy that teleported the clockwork in. Immersion made a very, very heavy commitment into this. He's half health, he's tipping in. They need to get something done here.
That's a nice silence. Who is he
nice
arrowing? Shackle onto 2 into the coil. Both of these heroes on Rune Eaters will get snatched up, glimpsed back, and eaten alive. PR are so ready for that play. They were the ones on the prowl, and Rune Eaters just didn't see them coming.
It was the ward in the river that scouted that rotation, so very nicely done for PR there. Just giving them ample time to set up. Vision, we always say Vision wins games.
Oh, I'm not sure whether I agree with that decision. TA2000 decided to keep on chasing instead of cancelling the sleep. I think there might have been an option for the Disruptor to actually glimpse if he was the one chasing instead. That doesn't really matter. Bane's gonna get out, who cares? PR keep farming. They actually smoked out of base. I guess because both supports tried to TP somewhere, they want to make a move back to somewhere that's relevant. Don't think this is going to achieve much though as PR continue to farm up.
This Baymira just not really finding much, you know, in the early game because it's against a Darkseer. You cannot really deal with the Darkseer. Like the clock is
like shoving the waves, right?
Yeah, the wave shoving and the clock kind of like being the body in between. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. And then now that he has the helm to block the arrow.
Oh, they actually make
Level
the first
6
move onto this poor SF, but here comes the Mortimer's Kisses trying to cover him. They will just accept that Clockwork is going to go down and full commit in for Dark Lord. He's narrowly surviving the last auto attack. They can't find him with the illusion. There's a Scatter Blast from Malik to keep his carry safe. Things got real hairy, real close, but Dark Lord survives. All things considered though, Poor Rangers, that is a very small commitment for them in comparison to what Rune Eaters had to bring.
I mean, Malik is just always there to TP to the lane.
He really is, yeah.
I've seen this play over and over again. Like, he is the savior of his team. Whenever he's involved in the movements, it always feels like the team just functions very well.
Yeah, Malik definitely, at least in my eyes, the star player in Rune Eaters. I think when he's having a game, okay, maybe let me put it this way.
He's not the star player.
When he's not being shut down,
I think the star player is Copy.
Really? As in terms of how much he does for the squad?
Copy is more fancy. I think when you say star...
Oh, there's like an element of flashiness to it.
Yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Maybe, let me put it a different way. I think Malik is the most important player for them.
Yes, correct. He's the key one.
Yeah, he's the key. He unlocks them into another level.
Don't crush his key.
Do not crush it. Yeah, please, man.
Please, Mike.
I mean, I'm sure Poor Rangers feel the same about their key. Either way, it's going to be heartbreaking. It's going to be tough because Poor Rangers, their key is already crushed. It's just a matter of time once we get to that stage. But they're putting on a really good fight in this early game. I think they're doing everything right. I don't have any complaints with what they've done so far on the map.
Yeah, they're playing through the Darkseer very well with the Disruptor. You saw how important it was to actually have a pick that allows the Disruptor to do this. Yeah. He has made 3 rotations top, and every time he's gone there was a kill.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like they pick a Disruptor and had to answer with Darkseer. This is a 9 Darkseer that still feels like Rune Eaters have no answer for. What do you think the idea was? Like, how do you... Because you see a 9 Darkseer, in my mind, I feel like Rune Eaters, you're supposed to be setting up for some sort of a response for this hero, but I don't see anything of the sort from the draft of Rune Eaters.
I mean, you want a hero to counter Darkseer to clear illusions?
No, I'm just thinking like, what was their plan? Because this was always going to happen unless you pick something to deal with it.
They don't really feel like it's going to like bother them too much.
Wow, what a static storm, stopping Malik on the TP in, and the glimpse back as well. They got the focus fire onto the poor snap fire, so Bane will fall along with the snap. And Rune Eater's quite literally getting overrun here in the mid lane.
Yeah, this Disruptor pick is just doing them a number right now. I think the fact that the early game just went so well for the Disruptor, you're getting the rewards, you're reaping the rewards because Disruptor did not get punished in early game, and you see him having such a big amount of impact in the mid game.
Absolutely. We talked to Eki yesterday, we know that the pressure can be something that affects the Rune Eaters lineup. They're coming into this day where this match, it does not matter for Power Rangers, it's all about pride. But you talk about Rune Eaters, this is very much still going to matter for their final group stage placement. They want to make it over to the survival stage. Yeah, that would be such a huge result for them, but now Power Rangers are just in their way.
This Mirana pick just doesn't really feel like it's done anything at all in the game. Didn't do anything in the lane, can't really contest the runes. They missed a couple of kills. That first kill on the park, that was a very important kill to miss out on because they didn't execute their spells well.
Yeah.
And now they're in this hole, 4k behind, 30 minutes in, and they're desperate to find a kill. When a team with Bane is moving during daytime, you know they are desperate.
Breaking the smoke onto the Disruptor, immediate glimpse away. So Eki will be the one to secure the kill. They got themselves asleep, but the Bane's a bit too far up. Thinking about a hook shot will get stopped by the Fiend's grip, but he's just buying himself some time. Looks like Mortimer's Kisses coming in, trying to cover his retreat. Rune Eaters can't really decide if they want to fight or not. I feel like some of them retreated. Malik decided to use his ultimate to help out his Kazakhstani brother.
I feel like he should have just died there.
Yeah.
It's not good for them.
Because now you don't have the snap out, and you didn't get anything from it.
They saved him with the snap ulti and they used the grip, but
I guess you get a tower. That's fine.
They were gonna get a tower regardless. I felt like they just ditched him there. Go back to hit the tower. It sounds cruel, but I think that was the more efficient play to manage their resources. Because the kisses, it's a very long cooldown, and
it's a big deal.
And now PR, they see the opening. There's no kisses. Yeah. Nobody's gonna come here and disrupt the fight, you know. And they're gonna look for a play. And Dark Lord, he is dead here. He's dead on my screen, Mike.
Hook shot in, even have the glimpse to bring him back further, but the cogs will do the trick. Dark Lord being run at, and Alberca on a killing spree. This Dark Seer continues to look amazing here in the hands of Power Rangers as it makes this SF's lives hell.
Yeah, because the mid wave is also not pushed in. The mid wave was shoved towards the Rune Eater side, so they kind of got pressured in two lanes. And the SF I felt like he doesn't really have anywhere to go, right? It's hard to blame him for going to the wave at top because that's the only place he could find.
Yeah.
Maybe he could have been a little bit more cautious.
Sure.
And waited, but
it's hard to be cautious against a Disruptor. I mean, you're next to your tier 2 and you still get
he got initiated by the Clockwork, not the Disruptor. So.
Yeah, fair. I mean, the only option for that is just not showing on the wave. Here's a Blink Crush. Copy finally getting usage out of that item reveal. And Rune Eaters will fire back.
Yep. Use the Moonlight to get a kill. And this is where the game gets challenging for Rune Eaters. They need to choose the right heroes to shove out lanes and who is going to protect. If SF is going to push the wave on the top side, he needs a bodyguard. So Ike on the Bane, you need to follow him. You need to make sure you get your brother out of trouble when the gank comes.
Speaking of the gank, rest in peace, Eki. Bye-bye.
Yep. Malik just says, see you later, sucker. Thanks for tanking the gank.
Yep. I mean, as a support, you're not too sad about that.
Yeah, this one is fine because they were able to farm bottom. They cleared a couple of camps, they pushed the wave, and the support died. If the support wasn't there,
Malik probably
the core would have died. Yeah.
It's just the case of the Disruptor, right? One person has to tank that glimpse. So expect Eki and maybe Ike to have just mountains of deaths on the scoreboard, but just part and parcel of the process playing against Disruptor, especially a Disruptor that's ahead. That's exactly where you want to be. Now the Shiva's complete already. Alberca is insanely farmed, man.
He's the king of the game, Mike.
He really is. He really is, and his spells just work so nicely with the rest of his team.
I want to see a vacuum into Disruptor combo.
Yeah, show us the magic.
Show us the magic, Mike. And you are the magic, Mike.
Oh. Well, thank you, I think.
You're welcome, Mike.
Okay. Let's start with the pleasantries.
Stop with the pleasantries. Okay, Mike, you suck. Get yourself away from me, Mike.
Okay, I'm going to start with the pleasantries. Winter, I'm going to need you to focus the hell up on this game.
Okay.
Stop talking about me. We got a game going. At 3k gold lead for Poor Rangers. I feel like this is not really the start I expected Rune Eaters to have, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think this is a result of just having like Bane, Mirana. They just can't really do much. And now Immersion. He's gonna find Malik. Clockwork is Snapfire's worst nightmare. I think Clock and Nyx, you know. When you have to play against Clock and Nyx, you're just gonna suffer on this hero.
Yeah, all you got is a boots travel, so no defensive items. Meanwhile, Nikki Cool with a haste rune able to clean up the Bane in the mid lane. So we're starting to reach a point in the game where things get messy, right? I'm sure every Dota 2 player has been in this position before. You're behind in a game versus Disruptor. Anytime you try and farm anywhere by yourself, you're just getting picked off over and over. So what's the plan here? Rune Eaters, I mean, they're splitting up and trying to maximize their network.
They need to steal the Rosh. Ooh, the nighttime Rosh right now.
How do they do that?
What do you mean how? Just walk over with
Oh, as in steal the Rosh, as in sneak it from under PR side.
Over Moonlight Shadow. I don't care how they do it. Just go there and kill the Rosh.
Okay, word up, word up. I thought you were saying wait for PR to do Rosh and then go in there and steal it.
No, brother. No. They can't fight. They need to be under the radar. Run over. Screw sleep, you know, go in there during the night time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why not? You're
your
there
opponents
behind.
are sleeping, just go there and steal the Rosh.
Sure. Yeah, I can see that. One thing I like is that PR are not taking their foot off the gas, right? They have the perfect lineup to just keep on the pressure, and now they're going to find Dark Lord Immersion.
He's late. His bodyguards. Where is his bodyguard?
Help! Nice spear. Puck blinks right into it. Hookshot comes from long range. The bodyguards are here, but that's the vacuum that you wanted. Still though, Alberca will take a lot of damage. Not able to survive the surge. Malik there, cover fire, doing a lot. Brings down the Darkseer and drops the spots low. Immersion will die as well. They do end up losing Dark Lord. That was the main target. But the rest of PR now on the run.
Here comes Naif. He's in the back line. He's chasing people down. Malik is the target.
Malik still surviving with the help of Copy, and TA2000 gets a bit too antsy. Tries to take down his former teammate from PSG Quest, but doesn't quite manage to get it done.
That was actually a very, very nice movement there by the Shadow Fiend. I think Dark Lord, he kind of salvages everything. He dies, but before he got jumped, he got the Requiem off, so it kind of bought him, I want to say like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So it gave his team enough time. I was worried that they wouldn't be in time to save him or at least get the rebuttal kills, but because he was able to get the Requiem off, that bought them precious seconds to execute that play.
Yeah, I think it's easy to look at that play and say, oh, Dark Lord was so bad, he's been picked off. But I think there were very small details that contributed as well. The fact that
you could see that he was waiting. Like
exactly,
he could have just left with the TP, but he stayed.
Yeah, and I think what matters the most to me is instead of walking in the open part of the lane, he was very aware that a move could have been coming, right? So he was making sure he was sliding between the trees and stuff. And these are the precious seconds that you mentioned, allowing Malik to rain the Mortimer's Kisses in, do the damage, and bring PR to their feet. Now, the game is still very much in PR's favor. They have control still. This was just one move that didn't really work out. Eki will break this smoke with the Moonlight Shadow being rather cheeky and will just tank the gank.
Nope.
There you go.
Yules is not going to help you there, brother.
Yep, and now this should be a free Tormentor because nobody else on Rune Eaters is in the area to contest. Shout for the Disruptor.
Just get Rosh. Just go Rosh.
Oh, yeah.
Starter SF.
Come on. Copy. You're on the wrong side of the map, brother. Copy.
They're not ready.
They're not paying attention. Okay, well,
not fast enough. Look at the brown dot. He's so far away. The Starter's so far away.
I mean, I can understand what he's doing. He's basically saying, I don't want to participate in the game until I got a BKB, but I feel like
that was a key moment.
Yeah, this is what loses you these opportunities, right? We talked about how Rune Eaters, their weakness is this phase of the game where it feels like Copy will just not really be involved.
Yeah, there's just like all these small little plays where you need to really understand that they are really important. You cannot give the Tom for free.
Yeah.
If you're giving the Tom and you're giving the Rosh away, you're going to be so far behind in the game. They're already behind, you know, if not because of the Rosh and Tom. And you need to figure out a way, how are we supposed to fight back, come back into the game.
Exactly.
You can't be just waiting and waiting. You know the classic team, the tier 2 players do is, oh, let's just wait for this item, you wait for that item.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just
have to go.
You have your spells, you go. You don't need,
you can do something.
because if you're waiting for your item, you get your item. Guess what? Your opponent also has time to farm their item.
Exactly, and most of the time...
If you don't have your item, they don't have their item.
Exactly. And you have your spells. The thing is, you're a Slaughter. You can go any day of the week.
that was a key moment there missed by Rune Eaters.
I guess their concern was that technically poor Rangers expended nothing for that kill onto Eki, right? If
yeah,
it would
but
be
they
maybe,
were going Tom. They're gonna lose health.
I mean, I'm just saying it could have been that's probably what they were considering. I don't agree with it. I'm just trying to give a point of view. You know, I think Rune Eaters, we've seen this before, right? This is not new to us. We've covered a bunch of their games so far on this stream. They tend to let those odds get to them in terms of, oh, we can't fight yet because they have ultimate. We can't fight yet because we have this. They have 1,000,001 reasons not to make a...
When do you want to fight? That's always an excuse not to fight.
It's funny to me because I feel like in the first few days, Rune Eaters were a lot more tenacious, right? They were finding these opportunities. They were making these curveball plays. They were smoking at moments where their opponents didn't expect. But it feels like as the days have gone by, they've gotten a lot more cautious, a lot more scared, a lot more hesitant to really do
confidence
things.
Is low. Everything we do is wrong, so you don't have confidence to do anything.
The crazy part about all of this is that's the opposite of what Eki told us, but now a fight's going to break up.
Hang on, Mike.
I'm hanging on.
Big.
Alberca coming down to the low ground, spots out Eki. They got the Essence Distiller on that poor Mirana, just scouting. Look at this wraparound. Copy, trying to round out the rear. Can't really find a convincing target. The Cogs are keeping him at bay. Did a good job dodging all of them though, but Rune Eaters, ooh, that is not the connection that you wanted, and now Copy could be in trouble. That's why he wanted the BKB, worried about the glimpse till the end, not even going to attempt it actually. They didn't want to catch some fish today. Hook shot in, want the easier target, burst down Eki first. Yus will buy him some precious seconds. Copy got to pop that BKB, turn around until the end, and that Disruptor goes down. It's a support for support. The buyback is there. Rune Eaters, they can reconnect into the fight. Darklord's going to come back in, try to kill off Alberca, but gets vacuumed up into the wall, stunned up as well. He still takes down Immersion, but Darklord will fall to the AoE magic damage. Nicky Cool can clean up, and TA2000 still untouched. Poor Rangers, they take a pretty decent fight, force a buyback from Rune Eaters. There's nothing much that Rune Eaters can do with this timing.
Yeah, that's just not the fight that Rune Eaters wanted. The issue is they have only one jump. It's a Slada. The Bane Mirana is not going to be able to contribute much, you know. So it's kind of limited the options they have. Whereas you compare that to the poor Ranger side, the Clock can start the fight. There's a Coil, there's a Disruptor Glimpse. There's multiple ways of them finding a way to enter the fights.
Yeah.
I mean, Rune Eaters, they need to be very careful. I think Copy, they're just kind of like... I know he thinks that he can't die because he has BKB. But because after he blinks in and he just shows his position, it means that they have no other way of initiating.
Yeah.
Unless the Bane gets a grip somehow on somebody.
Or you sleep and then arrow and there's no save or something, right?
So
That's the only option.
You cannot make a play like this when you're the only stun.
Yeah. And this is the weakness of the Mirana that we mentioned, and in some cases the offlane snap, right? You can see as soon as the fight breaks out, there's only one person on the front line, and that's Copy, which allows the rest of poor Rangers to dance around him. Like, Darklord has to force staff in to try and commit for this kill, and look at Copy, his blink is on cooldown, so he can't really help. Sure, Immersion goes down, but look at Nicky Cool and TA2000, they're having a free-ass time in this fight, and now they're having a free-ass Roche. Arrow's gonna come in, tanked by the Clockwork, and that should be the end of that. I don't think Rune Eaters can actually come in to contest.
I mean, it's kind of really bad that the side with the SF and Sala is not getting Roche.
Yeah,
and right now, they can only kind of dodge and try to farm the map. I mean, the SF force stuffing in was... Yeah, that was a very bad decision by Darklord, trying to finish off the Darkseer there and giving his life for it. It was definitely bad for his own game.
Yeah, he got baited in just a little bit, but I can understand it because the Darkseer has been giving him grief the whole game. Aiko trying to sleep himself out to the high ground. Very, very cute. And the Mortimer's Kisses, that's nice. Eki now being pulled back in. The Darkseer in trouble. Rune Eaters holding their fort in the triangle, not allowing PR any further forward.
That was a masterful play by Ike there. Very good bait. And gets them a kill. They're going to need a lot more of those for them to get back into this game.
Yeah.
And they have to be patient. They have to wait for their opportunities. Find kills on the sides of the map. It's nighttime. You have Bane and Mirana. This is the time where you need to walk around the map and look for kills. And they have to try right now. Daytime, it's kind of almost close to impossible for their lineup to get kills.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are hesitant again because of their cooldown, right? They use Mortimer's Kisses then, so they're worried they're full-blown team
I'm
fight.
not saying that they have to take like a huge fight, right? It's just a Bane looking for a fish. If he can find a fish that he can eat, let's go.
I mean, it's got to be him and Copy, right? I imagine.
But if the target has backup, you let the Bane die, and then you force them to make a reaction to that location, and then you farm the other places.
Yeah, fair. I mean,
you can't have everybody just sitting back doing nothing. I want to farm, you want to farm, everybody wants to farm. That's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I got bad news for you. That's exactly what Rune Eaters are doing right now.
And Bane's not farming. Bane's looking for information.
Well,
You
found
have to
nothing.
pay to buy information nowadays.
That's true.
They need to get some like deep wards down there. If you look at their vision, they have a ward in the mid lane, like lane ward. That's about it. They're gonna need more than that. Like, unfortunately, it's gonna be hard for them to place the wards, but they need to put that a priority. You have to try to get some wards out. If you don't have the vision, it's gonna be incredibly difficult for your cores to run out to farm.
Yeah, and we kind of saw this happen in multiple games as well. I'm starting to notice that when Rune Eaters are behind, the way that the map is split is very, very awkward. Copy going to be focus fired down now. Not going to be glimpsed back a bit too far away on the screen. Nice little save there from the supports. But yeah, I don't know if you saw, but like Copy and Dark Lord again ending up in the same areas fighting over farm. Right? Sure, the map is small, but this has happened in a few of their games now where they were behind.
Key fight coming up, Mike. A big one.
Moonlight Shadow, Blink Crush in, TA2000 in trouble, but he still has that second life. Requiem can't come out despite the BKB, and it's far too late to do anything impactful.
Nice kills, nice start.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's enough.
Time to back. No chasing, guys. No chasing, Rune Eaters.
I mean, it's just two supports, right? I mean,
it's still something.
Okay.
It is something. It's a morale booster, Mike.
Sure, but like now you've basically used all your ultimates, so you just wait 30 seconds. The Clockwork and the Disruptor, they can just go again, no?
Yeah, but there are still kills. Now you go and play the silence. You push the waves. You have a little bit of time. You farm the map. You get as many camps as you can. I mean, this is a big win in my book for Rune Eaters.
Okay. I just need like what, 5 or 6 more of those?
No, 1 or 2. One is enough.
That low, huh?
They're not that far behind, Mike.
Nicky cool. We'll just get a little cheeky. Allow Alberca to finish the job. Poor Ike. Really hard game for him. But yeah, we'll see a replay of that fight. Straight burst down onto TA2000, but he's able to escape. And crucially, the hook shot in from Immersion, prevents Dark Lord from winding up the Requiem. Naive would have been in big trouble if that spell landed on him within the range. He did not want to pop the BKB while his Aegis was still intact. Probably would have lost that first life.
And poor Rangers, they want to use this Aegis to mount another attack and another offense. They don't want to sit back and just farm. I think if they sit back and farm that game...
There's only 45 seconds left though. I don't think they can.
I mean, if they farm late game with their skill, like is it really better for Rune Eaters? Because at the same time, you have the Disruptor late game with the Axe. You have the Darkseer. Darkseer is always nice.
Yeah, Darkseer is phenomenal. I mean, Puck, right? Like, Puck is crazy.
I don't know.
But you also don't really want to give, like, Snapfire late game. Slardar late game, your HP instantly disappears. The Bane gets Aghanims, things could get tricky as well. I mean, you have a Static Storm Vacuum, but your Puck gets caught out in the corner of the fight. It's going to be messy. I can see what you mean. Poor Rangers, they are seemingly not in a rush. Just getting their items up. I can respect it.
But should they be in a rush? That's the question.
Yeah.
Are they correct?
It's a great question. Do you have an answer to that?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure, right? Like, here we go.
Going to get initiated upon, nullifying up the Darkseer. Still a Yules that comes out from Eki. That's a bit of miscommunication there. Shackle onto 2. Dark Lord now having to force up out as TA2000 trying to chase. They got a glimpse back. Luckily, he was still BKB though, as Malik able to escape as well. That was just not really what you wanted to see from Rune Eaters. Copy is in, he nullifies his target, and then Eki Yules the Darkseer, saving him from that situation.
Yeah, just not very coordinated. They're not ready for what's happening.
It just kind of further begs the question with this Mirana, the way that they pick it makes you feel like this is something that they've practiced, this is something they believe in, but the way that they play it makes you feel like this is just Eki saying, I want to play Mirana, and no one else really knows what to do with it.
I mean, he's the captain. He's the one clicking the buttons.
Well, surely as the coach or his teammate, at some point you say, come on, bro. Can you pick a real position for? I'll see that again. The way that started just allows for Alberca to get up to safety, and the killer shackle, like you mentioned, catching on to Dark Lord. Luckily for him, the BKB prevented the glimpse from pulling him back, but still not the fight that Rune Eaters needed. They want a few more of those controlled situations that you were mentioning, Winter, right? Being able to force some sort of reaction, you know, get a couple of small kills, even on the spots, it's whatever, and then back up. That's not how that played out, though. Gem now picked up by Nicky Cool. He's going to start clearing out the vision on the map. And suddenly, Dark Lord's Shadow Blade is not quite as useful. Oh, nice Partisans brand for Malik. That's going to amp up his spell damage by a lot. You got the Nullifier revealed in the earlier fight, now working towards an Aghanim's for the Slardar. Could just be another Tormentor, but it looks like Rune Eaters, they're on the prowl, ready to try and contest.
Yeah, they're not that weak. You know, I think if they get the right jumps, you have so much damage with the SF minus armor with the Slardar.
Hold that thought. Scan came through.
Holding, Mike. I'm holding.
Hold. Copy. Trying to set up Alberca Emergent, spot the double crush into Arrow. Lands it? No. Nullifier doesn't quite lock him down in place, and Emergent will defensively hookshot out. An attempt gone wrong there for Rune Eaters.
But how? You just don't have time to land the arrow with this combo.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. It sounds cute on paper, but it hasn't really played out. It opens up the Tormentor for Rune Eaters, but can they really commit for it? I mean, poor Rangers are going to come straight back in. Ike will break the smoke, immediate blink over. Nicky Cool spots his man. No chance for Ike.
Sleep himself.
Oh, he tries Static Storm. That's nice. Nicky Cool gets iced. Oh dear, the puck getting a bit too ambitious. Comes on forward, but TA2000 snipes him down. Emergent losing a lot of HP. That's that spell amp coming into play. Malik mows down the supports. And now Rune Eaters can slowly but surely take this fight. Nullifier again. Alberca is down. Rune Eaters are doing it. Poor Rangers. I mean, it's just TA2000 left and he's going to get run down. How have they won that fight?
That was very, very bad, you know, from the poor Rangers sides. They kind of just ruined everything. They set up everything for the Rune Eaters there. I mean, I don't know how the puck just got destroyed there. They got baited. They glimpsed the Bane in. And somehow something must have went wrong very, very badly.
Yeah, how come the puck couldn't cast any spells? Because I saw the Static Storm and the puck wasn't moving. And my instinct was that...
he got arrowed. Maybe he got arrowed?
I will have to see a replay of that because I'm not really sure what tripped the puck up. But because of that, Rune Eaters, what a big reversal from them.
Yeah, you saw the damage. They are not lacking damage.
Yeah,
they have so much damage on their heroes. And now they're gonna get Roche.
Yeah.
Re-Roche.
Just like that.
Thank you very much.
And even though we were complaining a bit earlier on about Rune Eaters not really making the moves that they wanted.
See here, was it the arrow?
Let's see. The crush into the cookie. Okay, well, I guess the Nullifier and the cookie was just enough to blow him up. Still, fighting around the pit. Poor Rangers getting desperate. Trying to breach this area. Alberca's gonna come in. They got a coil. Nice vacuum onto 4. That's what you needed. But they don't have to follow up damage. The Roche Storm barely does anything. You gotta get the Roche. Darklord will get himself the Aegis as Alberca can't bring him down. Got a Fiend's Grip back up. Alberca will get freed from the chains. Nicky Cool able to clean up on the back. Now Darklord in some trouble. Where is the backup? Too far away to help. So even though Rune Eaters win in that sequence, they still lose numbers. Another nice setup there from Malik. He's the one, the real carry, as we keep on saying. Shivas will tag till the end. And one more cookie forward. It's a triple kill. This Snapfire is blowing up.
Malik is blowing up. He's blowing everything up. He's not done, Alberca. He wants to man fight him. Buyback.
Not sure whether that's going to work out. Eki will try and help. The BKB vacuum stops the pouncers. Try for the TP out. That is smart. But the glimpse is right there. Makes a difference. Malik still on the high ground trying to escape. No. Thunder Strike will deny him. That buyback from the Disruptor extremely clutch and gets himself a very big kill. But as you can see, these two teams still very closely contested.
Who came up on top? I felt like...
I mean, Alberca came out for sure. I mean, look at his net worth right now. My goodness.
He landed an amazing vacuum into what, 3 heroes?
4.
With the Shivas?
Yeah.
I think it was here. And you're gonna see it in a little bit. They go on the clock, they kill off the clock, and SF kind of finish off the Roshan. And Sana is just like toasted here, like this big vacuum just... No one actually died there, only the Slardar died actually, and Darklord was able to finish off the Roche, but he gets the Aegis, he gets focus fired shortly after this, and then he has to die.
Yeah, I think the problem is not so much that... It's not that nobody died, it's just the fact that that vacuum caused the rest of Rune Eaters to have to scatter up to the high ground, right? So they were very far away from the SF, they couldn't help him out in the end.
I mean, Nicky Cool just has to be more careful. Like,
he does.
He's playing like... it's very difficult for them to catch him, but any small little stun. The Slardar stun, they have too much physical damage to kill him. He has no armor on this hero, no armor item, no Shivas, nothing. He has Octarine Core, and he has Parasma.
He doesn't have like something like an Aeon Disc to bail him out because the Nullifier is already up, so it wouldn't even matter.
I think he needs to maybe buy a Shivas or something this thing. But I guess Darkseer already has a Shivas, so he feels like he doesn't...
awkward, right?
He doesn't want to buy it, but then he won't have any armor items because there's no other armor item you want to buy on this hero.
Yeah, just get Armlet, it's fine.
Excuse me?
Just cheap armor.
Excuse me. Armlet?
Where's the medallion of courage when you need it? You know what I'm saying?
Stop influencing the people to do something weird.
No one's listening to me, don't worry about it. I go get found, immediate coil. Good instincts there from Nicky Cool, but Ike's already through. Okay, well, that was weird. I didn't even see the Bane at all.
He's precisely correct. Better luck next time, Nicky Cool.
Yeah, I don't think Nicky Cool needs luck. Nicky Cool's winning this game right now. I think Ike needs the luck.
Is he?
I feel so. I think PR are still in a really good spot. Sure, you can see the damage come in from Rune Eaters when they have the chance, but I feel like setting up the situation for the SF feels very difficult. It's almost like Malik is the real carry and the SF's just the distraction. And you can see that in the damage dealt. Malik has done 27.4k damage, while the SF has only done 11.1.
So you're saying the SF is not doing his job?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Do you agree?
But the SF is the front line.
I guess so. I mean, that's the problem, right? When you pick a Snapfire and a Slaughter, yes, they are tanky heroes, but they don't really want to be the one up front soaking the initial hit.
Yeah, Slaughter is like in, out, hide, wait, go in again, run, hide. He's not exactly like a centaur where you are a presence in the fight, you're standing in the middle.
Yeah, and then you look at your supports. They are also backline spellcasters that want to hide away. Alberca's found a target, chains up with Immersion. Aki's got a BKB, what the hell? Okay, he's scaling up as well with his own agony. He's now trying to set up onto this clockwork. Should be able to get that kill for free. Yeah, Eki has, even though his impact on the game hasn't really been felt just yet, he's managed to find quite a lot of harm. And Nicky Cool again! The vacuum doesn't really help, and Alberca's found himself to death!
Rune Eaters just striking back, punishing Nicky Cool on this part. Every time Copy just finds him, he just dies. Like, very, very good coordination between Copy and Malik. Every single time, both of them just destroy the puck.
Yeah.
I'm saying, you know, he doesn't have an armor item and he's just dying straight up.
I'm not gonna lie, I wonder whether an armor item would have saved him there because the damage is insane at this point.
All he need is just a second, you know.
Because there's nothing, because he doesn't have a second. If you imagine what's gonna happen next, the second cookie charge is gonna come out. I mean, because Malik's already level 25.
Now it's too late.
Yeah, like maybe this needed to happen like way earlier, or the alternative is you can't afford to let Rune Eaters be the one to have the initiation. They don't even have a body. How are they finding these opportunities?
They don't need a body when they just destroy you with a stun.
Sure, yeah, but how do you even find the stun in the first place? Like, why is Nicky Cool even in a position where they can see him and he can get stunned? And maybe you just need to play a little bit more careful, allow the rest of your team to tank the front lines.
Just throw your orb, hide it.
Yeah. I mean, hell, throw the Disruptor up in there. Here comes the Crush. Fiend's Grip, nothing they can do. It's just too easy. Just like that, a reversal from Rune Eaters. In a game where everything looked pretty dire, Malik again on the Snapfire, showing exactly why they come back for it in the last pick. Sure, it's not the cleanest, most clear-cut game, but my lord, is he doing it for the team. And we said it before, Winter, he is the most important player for the entirety of Rune Eaters, and he shows us why. When he's on, Rune Eaters are gonna win.
In Poor Rangers just not really finding the right combinations there. I think it was the Disruptor Ultimate did not cancel. I believe it did not cancel the grip.
Yeah, it was a bit too far off. So he had to glimpse, and by the time he's glimpsed, it was over.
Yeah, there was no chance for Naive to actually get his spells off or his BKB. You know, he got grip and that was it. Yeah, that was a severely costly mistake by the Disruptor right there.
Yeah. If you're just joining us, folks, you will not be able to have told that Poor Rangers was so far ahead in the early game with the Disruptor lineup, right? They were running over Rune Eaters, they were crushing these lanes. Alberca was giga farmed, but now we're at the point where it's only a 7% win probability for PR. How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, just a lot of individual mistakes. You know, I felt like there were mistakes from Disruptor, there were mistakes from Clock, missing spells. Puck also had a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, maybe like, diving too deep, right?
Even TA2000 on his win, he had a couple of like over chases, you know. So like everybody had individual mistakes. They played okay as a team, but individually they just need to clean up their act.
Yeah, I will say that after losing this game, maybe some of the team members need to write an apology letter to Alberca, because I feel like he is busting his ass to try and pull this game back, right? The vacuums, the team fight sets up.
Apology letter ain't gonna cut it, Mike.
Yeah, I know. Maybe he needs a pay raise. I don't know how they're gonna handle it, but they need to make up for it. Because
in C we always use food. You know, food nourishes the soul.
True. There's plenty of good food here in Paris. Maybe Poor Rangers need to step out and treat him to a nice croissant.
or a nice bowl of French onion soup that warms the soul.
True. Especially after a series loss, that's going to hit. After your key gets crushed. Yeah, we're getting a bit too ahead of ourselves. The game's not over just yet, but it does look pretty rough for poor Rangers. Of course, we were saying that about Rune Eaters earlier. It was hard to imagine them putting things together, but I think that's one of the benefits of a physical damage lineup. You never really run out of damage. As long as you can set up the situation to blow someone up, especially with a Slardar, you will always find these kills. Later down the line, all the defensive items don't matter because you've got nullifiers, the full item build is complete for Copy, and even Eki is also scaling up to be quite the core himself. I already mentioned it earlier, the Aghanims, the BKB, as well as the Partisans brand, so he is just pumping out oodles of damage himself.
And will the Aghanims from Disruptor change the course of the game?
Yeah.
This is a very huge item. Can they land the vacuum that needs to get them back into the game? The vacuum into Disruptor Static Storm.
Yeah. The hope for poor Rangers has gone far down the drain, but maybe with a vacuum, they can suck it right back up into existence. It's not real right now, but both teams smoking out. On opposite ends of the map, though, they just completely have traced their opponents wrongly. I believe Rune Eaters might have assumed that poor Rangers might be in the area of their Wisdom Shrine. And then on the flip side, I'm not necessarily sure what the poor Rangers' assumption was. They don't have a lot of vision to work with, to be fair. They're coming through the Twin Gates. This could be a clash. Rune Eaters are holding the triangle.
The smoke is ending, Mike.
Yeah, they're not going to have the surprise factor. Need to be careful about not showing on the wave.
But they want to go on daytime. They don't want Bane to fight with them during
this
the night.
Is a little bit awkward. Nicky Cool will now show himself. Lines are being drawn. They want to go for one big wraparound. Look at the retreat from Rune Eaters. They know that something's a mark.
Who's going to get a jump, Mike? Let's
Immersion,
see.
high ground.
High ground. Hold your high ground.
Eki Smoke gonna break. Jump straight in. Pops that BKB. Ready to take the initiation now. Naive in trouble. Where's the crush? Forcing the BKB. Goes on the back line. Stay Copy. What a great decision. No chance really for the Disruptor to do anything. Copy will have to watch himself. Looks like there's a Requiem. Low ground. Alberca. BKB himself and has to surge on out of there. They don't have a way of chasing. And Malik's able to mop up another support. PR on the run. As the Moonlight Shadow strides them forward. Naive is still spotted. Can't dispel this corrosive haze. Arrow will find him and a nice vacuum onto 2, but it's still not going to be enough. The heroes on poor Rangers dropping like flies as Malik will clean up a triple kill. While we were watching the chase from Copy and Eki, Malik was just on his own side quest of murder. And 18k net worth, Rune Eaters pulling this one back. They were never really out of it, to be fair, but it just looked so difficult for them to mount anything. A couple of mistakes, and I think really the pivotal moment was Dark Lord in the top lane, right? When he was at that tier 2 tower, when they were overdiving, when he managed to get the Requiem off in the tree line and buy time for his team to react, that's when everything started turning around for them.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to get that off, you know. Like somehow he just found a corner where he was able to hide and get his Requiem off, and that totally disrupted the pace of the game, the rhythm of the game.
Yeah. Of course, Ike will have the banner placement duties.
Even though that happened, I felt like it was like not over for poor Rangers by any means. They lost some of their advantage. They were still able to slowly find their way back, but they just had too many small little individual mistakes from their players. Except Alberca. I think Alberca was the only one that I felt like he did his job. He did it marvelously. I would give him flying colors, you know, on his report card.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I would say is there was this one time when Nicky Koo got caught out and then Alberca blinked in on 400 HP to try and save him with a vacuum. But that, like, I feel like in that moment, you feel the game slipping out of your hands a little bit. I can't really blame him. As we always like to say,
I mean,
Winter,
you can, but it's reasonable for him to do.
Yes, you can if you were a mean person, if you didn't understand human emotion. You know what I mean?
I don't know, Mike.
Yeah, I can tell.
Who are you referring to, you know? Who?
Yeah, okay. Well, we can keep it mysterious. Leave it up to the audience.
And you can tell your own story, folks.
True.
You can write your own script, you can tell your own story, you can play your own way in Dota. But
yeah, well, not for poor, at least not at EWC. EWC, you need to step up, and unfortunately, poor Rangers. Maybe we're seeing glimpses of why they didn't really make it so far just yet.
Very funny, Mike.
Thank you. They seem to have some trouble closing things out and just kind of...
Where's the banner?
Okay, oh,
behind the catapult.
Are you happy about this?
No, Sunya.
No, okay. Well,
no.
Take a shot every time Winter talks about the banner.
Oh
everyone.
my god.
We're back.
Eki, come back later, please. I need to tell you where's the banner supposed to be placed.
Okay. He did say already in the interview yesterday they were working on it.
Okay, this is still better than yesterday.
Okay.
All right.
Teamfight's going to break out. Dark Lord is immediately dead. That was anticlimactic. The rest of Rune Eater's not ready. Copy's still chasing. This is not really the initiation that you want. As Copy's BKB will now run out. Yules is there, or Wind Waker trying to help him out. Where'd he go?
Not help with the glimpse, my friend.
He got pulled back in. He's still trying to slither away. There's the save in the Lotus, but the vacuum is there. Try to give him the cheese. They weren't able to. Now Eki on the run. He has a cheese for himself, but he needs to get on out of here. Tries to turn around, but gets shackled up instead. This is not what they want. Rune Eaters, what are you doing? That is catastrophic, as the BKB Nightfall out will help Rune Eaters keep their carry alive, but they did not get anything for their troubles. I think they managed to get the Rags, but they...
Nope, I don't think so.
One of them only.
I don't think so. This is a total disaster.
I will be kept in suspense there. Where, not a single Rags. Not a single... I thought they had one.
Why do they need to go in? They just need to hit the hit the Rex. SF had Aegis.
I mean, there was stress, right? I mean, the SF Aegis got lost.
I'm telling you, this is the part where I'm saying why I'm always telling you that I felt like this carry player at Dark Lord, he's not taking charge. If you're not taking charge on the carry role, your teammates are like, oh, I guess there was an opportunity to go. The Saga goes in, doesn't land the stun, then the kisses come in. Oh.
Yep, and now Rune Eaters, where they were previously on the high ground 30 seconds ago, now getting their own racks being taken. Poor Rangers, we were talking about them being out of this game, but not at all just yet. 14k gold lead, but somehow they're the ones to crack the first lane.
Alright.
Yep, that's something. Mortys clears out the creep wave, stops the push, and allows for Rune Eaters to come back into the game. Things are very much about who gets the initiation now. Moonlight Shadow, they got some vision. Where are we looking? I tried to break the Lincoln Sphere. Immediate blink out though. Easy escape for Nicky Cool.
The cast point from Bane just really slow. Couldn't get the grip off there. Nice attempt.
Get his arms up and everything. And this is where the game gets tense. This is where the pressure can start to mount for Rune Eaters. We talked about how this match is so important for them in the final group standings. Get a stun now onto Alberca. Follow up. Malik double cookie in. Gets the 4-star away. Immersion there to help Alberca. Able to BKB, and Malik has to escape. There's a grip. Cancelled out immediately. Bane's in trouble, but I able to slither away to the side. And another round of the kisses mow down the supports. Rune Eaters, they just continuously take the Disruptor and the Clockwork out of the fight, and there's nothing the rest of the cores and poor Rangers can do about it.
Yeah, that was a desperate buyback. It's not going to amount to anything. Roche is going to spawn. It's still a long time, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a move that was very, very confusing. What was happening there? And we're going to have a replay on it. This was the over chase from the high ground. Yeah, that was a very, very bad decision for them to chase. They just needed to hit the racks and not do anything.
Yeah.
Because the moment you chase, the moment you try to kill the enemy, they might have buyback. Like, they didn't even need to buy back in this instance because they didn't land their spells, you know.
Yeah.
But why are you giving...
Why are you giving them a chance?
Your opponents a chance to initiate.
Yeah.
All you need to do is just sit back, look at the SF, wait for them to go on the SF because they have to do something. Otherwise, they're losing their racks. And then when they touch him, you counter-initiate. Counter-initiating is always much, much easier than initiating.
I mean, to be fair to them, that's what they were trying to do, right? The SF got touched, his Aegis got dropped, and that's what forced Copy into that pressure point. He said, okay, my SF is going to respawn, and if I don't do something, he's going to die. So he blinks in, misses the whiff, and then they just don't initiate cleanly. The Wind Waker, the BKB, and subsequently it's just all a mess. So I can understand why they did that. It's not like they didn't follow the plan you were saying. Just it was kind of ugly, not gonna lie.
I believe there was no plan.
Okay.
They just reacted when they saw someone jump out, you know, or somebody show their faces in the lane. They jump, they miss, they say, oh, we have to back, but they can't run because there's a disruptor. And GG.
When you dive high ground like that against a disruptor, he's laughing to himself. He's saying, just you wait.
You wait,
They'll come right back next to me.
Just you wait for my dagger and refresher. I'm gonna put you all in my circles.
Hell yeah. Sounds like a fun time.
Disruptor getting a refresher, bro. Of course.
Yeah.
You never get.
How often
that.
Do you get to that stage as a Disruptor? We might start cracking into the later parts of this game now. 50 minutes on the clock. Very similar to a previous Rune Eaters game that we saw yesterday, where even though they had an advantage, it's really difficult for them to end games with Dark
Malik is in trouble. He might be in trouble. Malik's
gonna get spotted. BKB immediately. They don't have anything that pierces that other than the hook shot.
He will be behind.
Here comes the jump, straight in onto Nicky Cool. He's fine, but a big Requiem, Dark Lord still being focused down. There's a full duration Fiend's Grip. TA2000 doesn't stand a chance.
They got flanked.
They got absolutely caught off guard. Malik was just the bait again. Proving to be the key player here. But overall, a nice shot call from Rune Eaters to make that maneuver happen.
Yeah, but then again, they were supposed to send something that is not right, because when they jumped the snap, nobody reacted, nobody showed.
Yeah, it was just an instant BKB blink away, right? It's like, where are the rest of them?
He is showing that he's afraid, he's alone.
Yeah.
When he BKB right away. So you have to read that small little thing. Wait, something doesn't add up. Where are they?
Yeah, by the time they put 2 and 2 together, they were already 2 and 2 dead.
Yeah, PR just needed to read the situation a little bit quicker there. Just couldn't really... I felt like they just couldn't really figure out what was happening. They just backed off. Like, what the hell? He popped BKB. And
yeah, before they even got the chance to discuss it, it was done.
They were not thinking about the next move.
Yes.
What is going on? Why did he just BKB right away? Why is he so afraid?
Maybe they didn't even think that far. Maybe they just thought, oh, he BKB, we can't get the kill, right? They didn't even make that consideration. Yeah. And now back up to the high ground, trying to force some sort of a buyback. Poor Rangers. Maybe they'll just be fine losing one lane instead of committing that buyback.
And they force out the glyph, and this time they're a lot more disciplined on the Rune Eater side. They're not really committing. Copy's not jumping in. He's just waiting for them to touch Dark Lord.
Oh, what the hell was that? Did you see? I mean, Malik just blinked in just to use Lil Shredder on the racks, just for SF to not hit it during the duration of the debuff. It's kind of random.
And now back to Rosh. It's okay. Roshan is not random, Mike. Roshan is there now.
Not at all.
He randomly spawns.
That's true.
Imagine if you can summon him.
Ooh, that'd be a bit too broken, right?
There is only one hero that can summon Roshan. Wait, Roshan himself.
That's okay. That's not even it.
Okay, maybe Monkey King. Monkey King can summon Rosh.
Why?
Because he can turn into Rosh.
No, but then Rosh has to be alive, so there's conditions. Because if Rosh is not... Yeah, because the thing is... Okay, I don't know if you go into the pit and Rosh is not alive, whether you can mischief into him. I think it only is relevant to units that exist around you or have the potential to exist around you.
Why do you even know that? You don't look like a monkey player.
Hey.
Monkey support? Monkey pause 5?
I don't know. I don't know about you, but this is what they call my job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your job is to understand every single mechanic of the game.
Well, this is not every single mechanic, just the funny ones.
Just the
The serious ones are your business. I take care of the funny. You don't worry about that. I don't need to worry. If you tell me about Jingu mastery scaling, I can rely on you to give me the exact numbers. I'm not worried about that stuff.
I actually can't.
Okay. Thank you so much for admitting that you are a fraud, Winter. Bit of an initiation here. The Slaughter stuck on the high ground, pulled back down, but a nice hook shot onto 2. Malik still doing the work as per usual. Kisses from long range, a bit too hard to fight into. Coming in for a second round, Malik with the cookie in, mows down Alberca. Like we said, this Snapfire is the real carry. Dark Lord now being focused down, but the buyback's there, trying to take him out. I mean, Power Rangers, I don't think they actually have anything in the tank, but they take down Malik on the front. That's pretty good. He has a buyback, but Dark Lord drops. So they prioritize the right hero, Power Rangers.
That was a really, really nice buyback. You know, they had to use 3 buybacks, but I think they've got the value out of it, and now they have a chance to force Malik and Dark Lord's buyback. I think that was a really, really, again, you know, really weird instance where the buybacks were used. Why is Malik jumping in after the buybacks were expanded?
Yeah, I also don't know what the initial idea was from Copy. He cliffs himself, puts his entire team into an awkward position trying to save him, and they start the fight without the Slaughter. So a lot of your damage potential without those corrosive haze just goes down the drain.
Yeah, that was a very, very bad initiation by, or maybe just bad decision by the team, you know, in general for Rune Eaters. Just everybody made a wrong choice to initiate there. Again, you know, you're ahead. You don't need to rush, you know, just take the fight on your own terms.
Yeah.
Don't jump up the high ground and do something silly.
I will say the decision making from Rune Eaters and Poor Rangers alike has been
terrible.
And left a little bit to be desired. I will say that's.
Fortunately, it has given us the pleasure of an exciting game to watch.
On God, I don't even know who's gonna win. I actually have no idea who's gonna win at this point.
26k.
It doesn't even matter.
And you don't even think Rune Eater is gonna win, Mike?
I don't know what's the win probability. Pull that shit up. Let's see.
You think it's a 50-50 game at this point?
50-50? To me personally, it's a 50-50 game.
I mean, Dota has always.
I don't know what Gaben thinks.
It's either Radiant wins or Dire wins, right? Always 50-50.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, if you put Falcons on Radiant, then maybe a bit more than 50-50. 60.3k. I mean, I think Malik just maybe felt some pressure to turn the tides of the fight by himself because he knew that his calls were basically out of commission. I'm starting to see the problem with this Shadow Fiend, right? It's very hard for him to really get much done once he's trapped up in the wall.
It's the lineup. It's just,
It's
just the lineup.
They don't really have anything to enable him. I feel.
They don't have a body to protect him. Slada is not a body.
The Slada helps him do more damage, but the problem is he just gets focused down. So he can't do damage when you're dead.
He can't fight when he's stuck in the wall.
Indeed. It's very easy for poor Rangers to keep him within the wall or drag him back into it. Okay, quick item check. Any major neutral items to talk about before we get to tier 5? Conjurer's Catalyst, Naive, anyone else? Okay, Giant's Maul here for the Shadow Fiend. Level 28 already. I mean, 25s are all rolling in. Are there any 25s that are like giga good? I guess Disruptor is crazy. Nicky Cool will get found. Instant grip.
How
He's in
does
trouble.
This happen every time?
No, but he has an Aegis.
Okay, he has Aegis.
It's
right.
completely fine. That's why he was
It's
playing so aggressive.
Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. Arrow's gonna land perfectly though. And the Requiem, seriously? Wow, Eki. I mean, he's making up for the earlier transgressions for sure.
That was not intentional.
Nullifier trying to chase down onto the Wind Ranger. Focus Fire will scare Copy away and they're happy with that response. Still though, Puck does not have buyback for another 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And here comes the kisses. They have Alberca locked down. Darkseer turn around, vacuum wall onto 3, but there's not enough damage and follow-up. Copy finds the return onto the Clockwork and Wind Waker's back out to safety. Rune Eaters, they're playing their draft nicely at this stage in the game. Nullifier forcing the Refresher out. The threat of the Static Storm chooses it to blink instead. Doesn't throw it out in time and his Wind Ranger is already gone. Another vacuum into a Static Storm that doesn't do anything for the side of poor Rangers. They have a combo, but they just didn't put it together.
He vacuumed him out of the field? Was that what happened there?
I'm not too sure. But whatever it was, it did not work. I mean, Alberca, he was really on point with some of the vacuums in the earlier stage of the game, but now when things have gotten messy, it's a lot harder to line those up. And Rune Eaters are very aware the vacuum wall is the one way that they get crushed in these fights. So they're splitting up. They're making sure they're approaching from different angles. And now the banner placement, I'm sure you'll be very upset about that. But Winter, it is what it is as they get the lane of Rax.
It doesn't matter now.
If you say so, brother. You're the president of the banner committee as far as I'm concerned.
But I'm the only one, it seems, on the committee. You're not even on the committee.
Yeah, I'm not actually, and I have no interest.
I have to recruit a couple more members.
I'm sure if you're interested in joining the banner committee, you know who to look for. People who get mad about the banner.
We talk about the banner for 1 hour every day.
Yeah, every day mandatory 1 hour practice mode demo placing banner.
This is the most efficient location to click your banner.
Okay. Rune Eaters, get a grip out. This game is coming to a close now. Not much else that poor Rangers can do in a game that was theirs in certain moments. They could have had this one. Rune Eaters definitely gave them ample chances. But now Dark Lord will stride back onto the high ground. So we found the condition actually. Rune Eaters, they can win with the Shadow Fiend. They can end the game. It just has to be longer than 55 minutes. Toss Slada in. Being a little cheeky of it as Nicky Cool trying to do what he can, but Slada just playing with them a little bit. Wind Waker to back out to safety. Now they got the sleep onto the park. Nice hook shot onto 3. How often do you see that? Nicky Cool turning around with some of the damage while Dark Lord is fully focusing down the Ancient, sorry. It's gonna be ended surely. Requiem comes out. It's only a matter of time. Eki and Dark Lord eyes on the prize and GG is called. Yeah, poor Rangers, they know what's up. It's a little bit rough. I'm glad to see that they're not too affected by it, but that's still got a sting, right? You gotta imagine that they know in their hearts this could have been theirs.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this game, just a lot of individual mistakes, you know, for the poor Rangers side. For Rune Eaters, I think the biggest problem, the most glaring problem, it was the Mirana.
Yeah.
The Mirana just doesn't really, not that he played bad, but I mean, maybe he played bad too, you know. But the main issue is there's a lot of limitations to this hero. You could see that in the early game, he was not useful at all with the Bane. They had one moment where they could have killed the puck, and because they didn't kill that puck, they lost the SF on the side lane, they got ganked, and then the whole game felt really hard at that point.
Yeah.
There was a period where they were struggling to make plays on the map. And that shows me that if you have this Mirana hero and you miss a window of opportunity to kill the enemy mid and you don't take it and the whole game just feels bad for you after that, it means that your hero is not optimal.
Yeah, it just felt like they had very limited options because you're running around the map with this Moonlight Shadow, this Bane setup. On paper, that sounds terrifying. On paper, that sounds like the puck should be caught out. You're able to find these pickoffs. But because of the early game slip-up, poor Rangers were the ones on the front foot. They had a disruptor lineup. It made it very difficult for Rune Eaters to play the map. Still though, at the end of the day, as we can see from the scoreboard, things got hectic, things got messy. The net worth got to astronomical numbers, and damage dealt-wise, look at Malik, 75,000. Basically more than the rest of his team. If you combine any other two members, Eki and Copy, they're only up to 50k, 60k perhaps. Dark Lord, even you put the next two, Dark Lord, Eki, it's just not really up there. Malik, again, finding a way to be the difference maker for his team. As we keep saying, he is the key player, he is the star player, and he's definitely the one that's most important to enable. This Snapfire last pick, it didn't really do the job of protecting the SF, but it protected the SF's ego because he can still pick SF and say that he won the game. Someone else just carried it.
I mean, I wouldn't go so far putting it that way, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a secondary carry, you don't need to rely on the SF, but if you pick a front line, it's going to be a different story. Like if the last pick it was a frontline hero, the SF would have been able to output the damage. I guess maybe he felt like Slada was kind of like the front line, but it just didn't really turn out that way, you know. But overall, a win is a win. They got the win, they got there, and right now they need to do it again to ensure that they keep their chances alive in the next stage, you know. So
yeah,
important next game still for Rune Eaters, whereas for their opponents, the Poor Rangers, they're just here to have fun and they have to just, you know, make the most of it.
Sure. Are there any takeaways you reckon from the Poor Rangers side? Because obviously
there's too many individual mistakes. I felt like as a team they had sort of like a direction where to go, what to do, but just too many individual mistakes. Like spells not landing in the right places, deaths where it could have been 100% avoided.
There was a
look
lot
at this, you know, even this, you know, like cogging and then just getting his teammate killed. You know?
The way this all panned out, this fight in the bot side as well, where Rune Eaters managed to get the wipe, I think these were the key fights that brought them back into the game. And then from there, we had this entire sequence of events where it felt like Nicky Cool was constantly dying, getting caught up by the stun.
One stun from Stala into Cookie, he's dead every single time. You know, like you blind puck, you know. Like some pucks, they don't care about 16, 17. You don't see a matchup, you pick it. But I think Nicky Cool is just not... I mean, he can play the hero, but if it's a blind matchup and he doesn't see his matchup, he's gonna feed.
Okay, maybe we gotta be a bit more less slanderous, let's say, because I don't think Nicky Cool did badly in the lane. He still survived. It's not like he got outmatched or out-rotated by Copy.
Yeah, but he had too many deaths, you know, like all these deaths. You are a hero that would accumulate a high amount of net worth.
Do you think that has more to do with the matchup of the Slada and picking the puck early, or do you think that's more of his own individual?
It's the matchup, because it's both. The matchup is bad and he needs to understand how to play the matchup, whether it's a different type of itemization or whether it's a different type of mindset. When you're in a bad matchup, you need to be more cautious, because I felt like he was playing like he couldn't die. That's why he was dying.
One thing I will say that's quite refreshing as compared to yesterday is, even though that game, as it was yesterday, that long game that Rune Eaters play, very exhausting, right? To have to claw out a win in this way where there's so many mistakes, back and forths, the ups and downs, you know, it can really start to take a toll on you. But it's nice to see that both sides, they're still kind of taking it somewhat easy, right? They're not putting unnecessary pressure on themselves, which is something I was concerned about for Rune Eaters coming into this super important series that would dictate their fate. Were they going to have the same level of pressure, stress? And yes, maybe you can argue that it bled out in the game a little bit, right? There were moments where they felt a bit desperate, they were anxious, maybe a bit too cautious, as Eki admitted himself. But overall, even the side of Poor Rangers, you know, after that, they just kind of had a very chill team talk. Everyone's still smiling, everyone's having a good time. And maybe for us, we get more chaotic, crazy Dota coming up in this game number 2, because that seems to be what these teams can give us.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. Just hopefully that they're not too bummed by it and they need to keep their heads in the game.
Okay, what is the one thing that you can do as the difference maker? Because you talk about, too many individual mistakes. What do you do during the break to try and like snap out of it?
I think there's nothing they can do. They just enjoy the game. They're already out of the tournament. There's no motivation, so just have fun.
Yeah, have one final bit of fun on this Paris Expo stage here on Stream C. We'll have game number 2 after a short break. Don't go anywhere.
He can come on. You're done.
This is my ladder. You can't climb it.
That's an L airline.
Somebody better hold me back.
Okay, yeah. Do something then.
Raw energy. Blow the house down.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights, better keep right, I'm champion.
Welcome back to EWC 2026, where the best Dota 2 is being played across the streams, but at least for our stream, I don't know whether you can consider this the best Dota 2. It is good Dota 2, it's entertaining Dota 2 between Poor Rangers as well as Rune Eaters, as Rune Eaters continue to fight to secure their survival. But let's be real here, Winter. We are looking at the bottom of the barrel right now. Stand a chance, but for Poor Rangers, their tournament's already over. Their key is going to be crushed. It's going to be soul-wrenching, but I think they've already come to terms with it. They've come through with good vibes. And that game number one, they also had chances to actually take one off of Rune Eaters, right? They had these situations where I felt like the game was very much in their hands.
Yeah, they definitely had the game in their back. I mean, not like for sure they're gonna win, but they were in a decisive advantage.
Yeah.
After the early game, I think they took a couple of big team fights, especially after the rush. But just too many mistakes, after that they weren't able to keep their cool. They weren't able to, maintain their lead. I just felt like a lot of bad deaths, on the park, bad spellcasting on Disruptor, Clockwork. It's a lot of random mistakes happening. So you just can't really put the finger on one person, but the team is just not ready at this level.
We were talking about how each of these individual players may be spellcasting not quite on the mark. Would you say that Poor Rangers might have drafted themselves a bit too high execution of a lineup, or it's not related at all?
I don't think so. I think the heroes, they were not really difficult to execute. They were standard heroes. I wouldn't say that it's difficult to execute. Lineups that are difficult to execute are kind of like Nigma drafts. No stun, no catch.
True.
Everybody has to play well. You need to know where you have to be on the map.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't really mind the Poor Rangers draft. I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah,
it had a lot of combinations. It had scaling, it had team fight, it had catch. It felt like there was very little boxes unticked, but it really does come down to the play at the end of the day, and that's something that's been lacking for Poor Rangers, right? They're not going to go very far in this tournament because of that. This is something we keep talking about with the tier 2 teams, tier 1.5. They just don't really have those fundamental concepts, or at least in Poor Rangers' sense, they do have the skills, but it feels like the decision making is a little shabby. You can kind of say the same about Rune Eaters though, right? They have this heavy...
And he's the most experienced, one of the most experienced player on the team. So it's very, very, I think, normal between him, Malik, and I think Eki. Both of them are playing heroes that could lead, the game. In that first game, I might not have agreed with the Mirana pick. I mean, I can see why. I get that he's comfortable with the hero, but at this level, it's beyond just comfort. You need to take yourself out of the comfort zone, because if your hero pool is just 3 heroes, 4 heroes, you're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, I wonder what... Can you educate me? Because I think I'm still trying to put the pieces together regarding this Mirana. What exactly do you think?
I felt like it was just... And it didn't really work with their follow-up picks. I mean, the starter wasn't planned, perhaps, because it was a reaction to the puck. But at the same time, I think the support picks, you need to have kind of synergy with the cores. And I think because you have to pick the support hero first in that junction, they didn't really see the core picks. So this is something that you always need to think about. I need a hero that allows the latter picks to be you need to have a lot of options. It didn't really work with the Slada, in my opinion. It's very hard to follow up with the Slada.
The stun's just not long enough.
Yeah, Slada,
even like a Hoodwink would be fine.
Maybe even Hoodwink. Those are like heroes that could work much better. But just Mirana is just something that he wants to play it, and yeah, it just doesn't really work with their heroes. And let's see if they can find something better here in the next game. It's a very crucial game, once again, for Rune Eaters. They need to win this game to secure their spot in the next round. And very, very important game here coming up for them.
Game 1 just came to its conclusion. So this is the major decider within Group A, right? Whether Rune Eaters or Gamer Legion will be the ones to proceed, whether there's any semblance of a tiebreaker, regardless of what goes down today, I think it's going to be a matter of 1 or 2 points in the tiebreaker scoring system. So we'll have to see. One thing I want to point out is we, at first, when this series started, talked about how these teams, a lot of experience from better players is needed. And we also mentioned how some of these players on the rosters have already been journeymen themselves. But look to the coaches, right? So I'm sure that they're bringing a wealth of experience to the team, but I'm sure you've been in this position before, Winter. You can only do so much as a coach, right? The second the draft is over, you just hear the comms from the back of the stage, and sometimes you put your hands in your head, you're like, what are my boys doing? You don't have a lot of time during the break. You can only get so much out. If you talk too much, that's over buffeting them with information. You don't want to bring the vibe, right? You don't want to word dump. You don't want to bring the vibes down, but you also need to talk.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough job, Mike.
It is.
You have to try to influence.
Watching from the sidelines, and then I watch like I don't know.
I will listen to you, Mike. Coach me, Mike.
Coaching on what?
Life
Dota
skills.
2?
Life skills.
Life skills. Okay.
How to show up on work on time. How to be nice to your colleagues.
Yeah, you definitely need some lessons in that, I'll tell you that. It's okay, we can resume once this game is over.
And
introductory
now,
calls.
So Power Rangers has opened up with the Bane and immediately Rune Eaters Zoo. Because Bane is weak against the Zoo. Zoo heroes.
So are you saying that even if a Drow Ranger comes out now, it's not strong enough versus a potential Beast off lane? Because the key thing is we've seen the drafts devolve into, can I secure SF and Drow? And then the second step is, can I secure a bodyguard for the SF and Drow?
You can definitely still do the Drow. Drow is very good against Beast in the lane.
Okay.
So the Beast needs to have the right position for.
What would that look like?
I think I like Beast plus Koto. Oh, Koto is banned. So you don't have Koto. So Koto, I think it will be the most stable lane with the Beast. You keep throwing the axe, so it doesn't really matter what lane you're up against. You're going to be able to farm. But mid lane, that's why they're picking it up. I'm speculating.
Yeah, I'm sure. Although...
So now they're deciding whether they need to ban the Drow and which position 5 hero they want to pick. Are they going to pick them 4 right now? Ideal range heroes against Bane will be Shadow Demon. I think Dark Widow is fine as well.
Okay.
These are the 2 main ones that will go the range heroes.
Why Dark Willow?
Why not? You can cancel the grip later, and in the lane you can kind of fight off the... There's not many heroes that can fight off the Bane.
Yeah.
You out-train him because the Dark Willow, you have the... what's it called?
Shadow Realm?
The Shadow Realm, and then you can trade. So it's one of the more effective heroes that can trade against Bane. And the Bramble is a very strong spell.
Okay.
They go for the Drow.
Oh, they pick it themselves.
So here forcing Pro Rangers to find a solution towards the Drow Beastmaster.
Immediate Axe IO though.
Axe IO, yeah. Axe IO. Axe very good against all the range carries. But at the same time, Undying is in the pool. I feel like all they need to do right now as Rune Eater, they pick Undying. Undying counters Axe. Undying is really good against Bane as well because you create a lot of stuff on the team fight. Bane doesn't like to play into stuff.
Yeah, by the time he's done Fiend's gripping, he's going to have like 8 zombies
Undying
on him.
plus stun on pause 4, like
there you go.
Lion. Maybe a Lion. Just pick a Lion.
Oh, I love this from Rune Eaters. I think they've found themselves a nice situation.
I think the game is like, it's going to be very one-sided, you know.
And the Lion, so now you have the catch as well. A great laning pair of the Beastmaster. The flex option is still available.
The Beast might not be in your lane.
Sure, yeah. That's the flex. But at least it opens up the map play for them. So, like you were saying, you have a support that sets things up in the Bane. Now you also have a Klings that can roam around and maybe try and find some of these pickoffs. Perhaps a stray Drow farming on the map. Pretty strong death ball coming together though for the side of Rune
I think it's
Eaters.
going to be really tough.
Yeah, I agree.
For Poor Rangers, they need to play the split up map. They need to rely on the lanes going well. Because if the lane don't go well, you're not going to be able to play the map effectively, and the ball will be arriving on your doorstep a little too soon for you to handle. This is tough.
However, overall, obviously the
okay.
Oh, so you're not necessarily waiting for item timing.
Blade, you have a Hurricane Pike. Obviously, you want a Pike. It's gonna be tough, you know. I think the onus is gonna be on the Poor Ranger side, but they need to take control of the game by doing well in the lanes, playing through the Axe. They have pretty strong lanes. They need to gate with the Bane, and they need to kill off this Drow Undying lane. If that doesn't happen, they don't break down the laning phase, it's going to cause them a lot of problems. And now they have Puck, so they have 3 cores that don't necessarily interact with each other. You have the coil into relocate, but a lot of their cores need to farm a lot, especially the Puck and the... I guess Puck is the main one that's the carry here.
Yeah.
The Klings and the Axe kind of they are allowed to fight.
Yeah, they're meant to set the tempo a bit.
Yeah.
Right?
So overall, Axe is I think the key hero. They need to play through his lane. They need to use the gates. They need to put the beast on mid lane. Is it better for them to go there, put the beast there, and pick another offlaner that can lane better against Klings? Is there a hero for them to do that, or just pick a counter to Puck? So the choice here is either to counter Puck or to counter the Klings.
Yeah.
If you counter Puck, what's there available? There is I guess there's Night Stalker,
Void Spirit, I guess.
Void's like it's okay.
You want to go for like a Storm? There's limited lockdown, low key.
I think you can go back for the Slaughter.
There you go. Okay, so quick little status update before we head into the game number 2 of this series. Bet Boom versus Gamer Legion over on the B stream. Gamer Legion have now lost 1 game. As it stands, Rune Eaters have a significantly better chance of making it forward in the survival stage as compared to Gamer Legion. Because BB in a bad spot. Like Gamer Legion will have accumulated more losses and less points overall. So there's a real shot here. Rune Eaters, I mean, overall, I think I like their draft more. The Slaughter rounds things out nicely. I feel like the sequence where they got the Drow and the Undying, excellent job. I will say that the Axe IO immediate answer to the Drow and then the Kling's follow-up was solid. It's going to be an uphill battle in my mind though. Poor Rangers, they need a lot to make this work. Another active carry for TA2000. See how much he can do with it. He'll be the difference maker, at least in my mind.
Probably just the Axe.
Okay.
You can... But at the same time, I think later in the game, the Axe is going to be calling, so you want to bring the Puck to the fight.
And the Puck clears waves and
the Puck will clear wave, and he might need some mana, and then you bring him to the fight. I think that would probably be the way you approach this game as the IO. Early game, you don't follow the Puck. You probably follow the Axe.
Look at the vibes on the side of Poor Rangers. Still smiling, still having a good time. I think what stands out to me about Poor Rangers, sure, I've watched a few of their games, but I didn't manage to catch all. There's been a lot of Dota that has been happening in the past few days. But I think I've really been impressed by the draft. They generally already know what they want to do, and they stick to it. There's no deviation from that. I can appreciate it. I think it means that everyone's on the same page.
Can be a good thing, can be
You're on the wrong page in terms of winning the tournament, but you're on the right page in terms of being with each other. Need to add a few more notes to that page.
Yeah, I need to be on the same page with you a lot more. You know, I'm just on the wrong page all the time.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I feel that way. I'm sad, you know, I'm sorry.
Damn. This is game 2 of a best of 2, not a therapy
Sometimes
session.
when we have the same lunch, inside me I feel happy, you know. Oh, finally we're on board on the same...
We're matching.
We picked the same menu.
And sometimes we don't have a choice. Sometimes... sometimes there are limitations.
There's just one option in the menu.
Yeah. Sometimes we're eating at the same place and they only serve one thing. But enough about us. More about this game, Rune Eaters. As we said before, folks, in case you're just joining us, this one is very important. Sure, not for Poor Rangers, but it's a matter of pride for them, right? If they can deny Rune Eaters, the regional counterparts, this slot, it's going to be a bit of a moral victory. Because as we know, Dota 2 players, the only reason why they play this game is to make other people suffer. See the sad faces on the side of Rune Eaters. Gonna be a bit of a tussle for the runes. Nothing crazy though, just some spells traded out left and right.
And you need to specify. Playing Dota making other people suffer. Are your teammates included in the other people?
100%! Everybody involved. You know, even if they're not in your game, you make them suffer. You ever see those regional chats in the Dota 2 clan. People are out there just talking mad shit. Every Dota player has that dog in them. You can't stop it. We'll get off to the races here. Rune Eaters with a draft that just inspires so much confidence. High physical damage, good scaling as well, and I think in a team where we talk so much about with the boss, you can make the right moves on the map, you can apply a whole lot of pressure, and he is the...
It's not a very fast hero though, my concern is. It's not a dagger hero, it's a hero that is gonna farm a bit. You need some time before you get the helm, and you need some little, you know, space on the map, you know. He's going to be a lot... I guess a little bit similar to the Snapfire where you're buying travels and I think you're being a little bit more greedy. But at the same time, the Snapfire does provide your team with some sort of damage in the early game. Beast doesn't really... You don't really play with your team. You kind of just farm, you want your team to come to you to get the tier 1 tower, then it's still up, you know. So I would say that it's a way more greedier style of a hero for map.
To do for them, because we see certain teams prioritize it. It can be strong in the laning stage, but not as strong as a Drow Undying, and Ike thinking about just denying himself into the tower, tries to get the...
professional Undying player. I love this. I like this. You run out of mana, you run out of HP, just go take a free trip back to base.
Don't stick around, don't believe the lies. Even though you're named Undying, dying is low-key good. Crack the smile on Winter. Life is worth living. Some might say we're on the same page.
Show you more stand-up shows, you know, so we get humor on the same side, on the same page.
You know what it sounds like is that you're showing me the stand-up show so you train me to tell jokes that you like. It's a bit more transactional than...
It's not transactional, it's free. I'm not charging you anything.
Alright, thank you for your generosity. Ike trying to body block them away from the Lotus, but understands he can't fight this duo by himself. Tillian's come to it, Twin Gates actually put a lot of pressure onto Dark Lord.
Because
this is a nice
not a duo, Mike. It's not fair. It's not a fair fight.
Rutro, Ike now. Grenade at the last moment. What a masterful play. Gets something in return. Until the end, we'll get a nice chunk of change from this tombstone kill, but he does take a lot of damage.
Ike has been very, very impressive. I think other than Malik, Ike has been really impressive individually. You know, maybe with the team's movement and everything, sometimes they are not really fluid. But I think individually, his spellcasting, his limit testing, he knows how far he can go with his heroes. His pop works, his Undying. He's really good with the melee. Next support player on my radar right there. You know, I think upcoming support player. He's a relatively new player, and I think he's showing a lot of promise.
Yeah,
the future is bright for Ike.
Not for Dark Lord though, his laning partner. Ike's trying his damn best to salvage this situation, but Dark Lord's just getting run down bot lane.
The classic, where is my pause 5?
Yeah. But in this case, if Ike told me it was Dark Lord's fault, I'd be inclined to believe him. Here's the chase though. Ike will drop as well. This is where the Axe and the Io get a bit down by this duo. Aki's even TP'd down here just for some additional insurance, just to not really find anything done.
Alone as of right now, you can't really contest the lane against the Klings. So I think this is the right play for them to try to salvage what they can on the bot side. You need to play with the Drow. I think you cannot leave this hero
till the end will get caught. He's been in and out of the gates. He did this on the Disruptor as well. This just seems to be his minutes in the game. And I guess that's why they're prioritizing all these self-sufficient carries for TA 2000, right? The babysitting of a support. The jungle.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough lane for Beast, a counter matchup. Rune Eaters decide to walk into this matchup because they feel like the Slala pick would give them a lot more, I think, options in the game. Beast somebody has to take an L.
Sure.
You can't have everyone winning that.
And you are happy to let your 9 pick take the L, right? Be confident that both your players can make it out of an L situation. This is a lot of pressure coming in from the PR duo, though. I didn't really expect this. I thought the Drow and the Undying would have a much better time, but instead the Axe is running free down here in the bot lane.
Yeah, they didn't have enough heroes here. Felt like this catapult wave, they could have pressured more. If the Bane, imagine the Bane and the Klings came over, this is a big pressure point. I think they missed like a really huge pressure point.
Yeah.
If Drow dies there, this game is going to be so hard for her. She's already struggling.
Well, they can still continue the pressure. Call comes out, Alberca hunting down onto Ike. They get on the tombstone, but scary business. Gotta be careful about another battle hunger. I mean, the sheer amount of damage stacking up on this guy. Ooh. And Malik's not doing hot either. Talk about TA 2000 already having a great time. His Wisdom Shrine will be secured though, but Malik, a long way to go before his first item, whether that's the Aghanims or whether that's the Helm.
Yeah, Copy has a lot of work to do because he's the pick that kind of got the preferential treatment, you know. He has the priority for Rune Eaters, but it's not the end of the world. Like I said, the lanes are not as important nowadays. It's more about like the lineup coming together. You have a lot of combinations in the mid game, synergy. You can catch, you can play the team fights. I think that is more important, and the objective taking, you know, you have the power to take Roche with this.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dark Lord here, he has company. Unwanted company.
How often do you see a play like this early on? I mean, TA 2000 going all the way in.
Hey, it's just
right, so that's just an entire area.
He can't go back, but at the same time, there's nowhere else for him to go. They need to force heroes to
anywhere to go.
They can't open up that side because Beast has a counter matchup. He's against the Kling. So the only place they can open up is the mid lane.
Drop again. Of course, as soon as we compliment him after his decent early game, he starts dying. 5 deaths at this point. We did say dying was okay, but maybe a little bit too much. Maybe we said no on double digits.
Why? I'm not the Undying.
Can you go over here then and tell him? It's just production. I don't think anyone's going to be very happy that you're doing that.
Imagine.
I don't even think the Undying will...
Hey, do you mind if I give you a little bit of advice?
Yeah, I got a little tip for you, brother. Take the noise cancelling headsets off. Don't worry about it.
What is this initiation? He's so far up.
I mean, the Bane is just out of position, right? And Rune Eater's response.
Out of the game.
Indeed. Well... It's just one mistake. I don't think it's
a huge kill. That's 400 gold, brother.
This, speaking of huge ass, parks his big booty in front of Alberca. Not big enough though. He's a BBL perhaps.
Uh-oh.
Nice tombstone in the way of immersion. And now it's the IO. Rune Eaters are getting their lick back slowly but surely and stabilizing the situation.
EPL? What? Yeah, amateur player right there. You're only playing EPL.
Alright, calm down. They're at the Esports World Cup.
TA 2000 here working on this tower here. Just trying to attack the triangle. If
What's going on in Dark Lord over here? He's been found out in the bot lane again, just hounded by Alberca and Immersion. Coming through back with the nice relocate. You talked about it, the pairing with the puck. Easy connection on the side lanes. Towers having to be denied there. TA 2000 putting on a lot of pressure. The quiet moments here for Rune Eaters as it feels like before this Blink Dagger comes out for Coppers, like you said, the Beastmaster is a rather greedy hero. Meanwhile, with PR, they can just keep running at Rune.
Yeah, I think it's okay overall. Like if they can actually survive the next couple of minutes, the Helm comes out. I think their lineup is really strong together. They can play the game, say what, 5k behind, 15 minutes. It's still alright for them. But they need to keep it stable so everyone can keep farming and the Drow doesn't die. Just sacrifice the Undying.
Oh dear.
Oh no, Undying is not here. Oh no.
She's about to be found. Runs straight into the Fiend's grip. What a set-up play there from Poor Rangers. Runs away on the axe at... The Poor Rangers there again.
Mid lane. I mean, they're playing through the mid lane. I like this more.
No, they're going to try and make the jump onto Nikki Cool. Very, very smart silence over. Actually pressures the Lion. He's not able to get the kill. Nope. Finger of Death is right there. Eki managed to get his level 6. Much needed pick off onto the puck.
They need to play through this Slada. Slada is their strongest hero.
Oh, Alberca's coming on forward. Gotta watch himself though. Nice call onto 2, but that's the Flesh Golem amping up the damage onto the otherwise very tanky Axe. Ike able to set up the kill for his team and now getting the jump onto this poor Kling's Royce.
The team fight just way better for Rune Eaters and the execution. Axe thought he was the one.
Suddenly he's not quite as terrifying as he was before. He got so used to being able to dominate the early stages that he forgot. Okay, sorry, maybe bad use of the words. Yeah, he's maybe I'm gonna say plush toy, like he's easy to beat up.
You gotta be more aware of the times. You know,
yeah, my bad.
Dark Carnival times.
Okay, yeah, true. We live in a
different time now.
Yeah. That's not the automaton X, but he will very much like the similar X be killed.
The heroes, they can be behind, but now it doesn't feel 50-50 anymore, the game. Even though the net worth is just 1k or less than 1k.
Yeah. Rune Eaters have really dragged themselves
for poor Rangers.
Ike is probably going to die here. Can't even get the soul rip off. Just gets found.
Oh, till the end?
Oh, wow.
My man,
what?
It's daytime.
Wait, I thought he was gonna get killed there. How did he survive? I guess the Slaughter just thought maybe there was a gang squad coming for him and blinks to save him.
Io. There is Io.
Yeah, I guess so. The Io's a bit preoccupied though. Here's the chase in.
There is an Io in the game. He's gonna get rolled.
Easy pick up. I think Immersion survives these. Completely fine. They even get the creep on their way out. How convenient.
Yeah,
okay, nice set of plays there from Poor Rangers.
Yeah, this is what they need to do. Just pick heroes off the map. Use their relocate. I mean, they didn't even use the real. Yeah. Silly me. Yeah, Rune Eaters have to be more careful of the relocate. When you're poking against relocate, you gotta be ready to run after you use your spell. You cannot just go in and run in and commit your second spell. Just make them relocate, run away, and then do it again. The dagger is gonna be coming up for the axe. If they can find a good initiation or good engagement on the bottom side, Roche will be theirs.
Been coming up in just about 200 gold. The Helm of the Overlord for the Beastmaster hasn't really been able to contribute to the game Eaters to manage. So far, they've been at the mercy of the Kling's hunting, the Axe Blink, as well as the Io relocate, like you said. They need to carve a bit more space for themselves here. Some ultimates, and they're not afraid to use them, just need to find the opportunity to do so. And he doesn't have the ulti orb just yet, so...
I mean, he's there, he's close. He's close. Now, after the Helm, you are thinking about what are the moves that we need to make so we can get Roche. The Roshan, both sides here. Ike joking. Okay, this relocate, I don't really like this relocate.
Yeah, this one argument that it gives
there is no argument, my friend.
Yeah, sure, you can accept that, but I'm making the argument.
Yeah, it's a big cooldown, my friend.
Well, it's not like Rune Eaters are... Just the gang squads on the map trying to find action. There's your Helm Overlord with the Dragon. We're gonna start pushing out these waves. Full initiation might come out. Alberca is about to run into some heroes on the high ground. This is a good position for them to start, but do they want to stick around? Eki's gonna show himself. Lord, they need to save him, but he's in the wrong spot. Copy tries to hold them back. Tombstone's in a good place, but immediately gets mowed down. They get the Finger of Death onto the axe after the damage amp again. The Flesh Golem doing its work. But axe, that's pretty big.
Yeah, the Tombstone was placed in a really, really good position. They were forced to target it. They couldn't really follow up on Dark Lord, and that was what actually just saved him. And of course the grabs. Both sides still not really certain if they can just walk in and do it. Rune Eaters, they need to kill more than Mara's moving top with Lion, so they're gonna run into the Klings and the Io.
They'll try and focus Naive down. They know there's no chance of a safe Immersion. Is he not gonna try for the relocate? Holding on to it to the very last. Even get the kill on him. Immersion, too much healing to work with, and Slada, who started that fight, has to run away with his tail between his... Well, he doesn't have any legs, but you get the idea.
Lion is just a hero that you have no armor. If you don't have a Ghost Scepter, oh my god,
the Black Dragon, big crush!
What?
Till the end, what was that about? Raw is gonna sentence the second support into death. That was just over ambitious from PR. Why would you...
that was such a risky move because it was in front of the tier 2 tower.
Look, I can understand it if there's nothing going on the map, right? And you haven't used the Fiend's Grip in a long time, you don't anticipate anything else happening.
But not in front of the tower?
Not in front of the tower, and not when Tormentor's spawning. Not when any one of these teams could easily get the Roche. I mean, you don't have the Fiend's Grip, they're just gonna be like, okay, they're being rewarded by Poor Rangers for no reason. Poor Rangers are feeling bad for them that they're behind and saying like, you know what, you can have this one. We're gonna give you a chance to get a crazy double crush. Eki's found him. Eki is probably close to dead. last auto attacks, they actually find him.
I can't believe he died there.
That was painful. A T2000 continuing to stack up the armor reduction, 14 charges on the Deso.
I mean, Roche is top right now. He's in the night time, and now just feels like they can't really defend it. Matchup, lineup.
I still haven't really seen or heard much from Copy. A couple of nice crushes, but that's about it. Where they go? Nice try there. Ike manages to TP out after stealing the Shrine of Wisdom. Pretty cute play. Definitely, I don't know whether it even counts as a cons bit is going to count in this uphill battle.
And Rune Eaters, they still have a lot on their tank here. In their tank, they have Slaughter, BKB. They do not need to be afraid of this Aegis.
Roll. Alberca now on the hunt, but Malik saved by the Soul Rig again. The Undying will foil him. Meanwhile, Eki on the front line, still surviving the puck damage. Rune Eaters starting to come together.
Then I think Naive, he just showed himself for a brief moment to clear the waves, and that gave Rune Eaters the information that their opponents are not together, and now they're in trouble. They're in all sorts of trouble. He does not look like he's going to get out of this.
You don't even have a single ally on the map other than the puck. And you're still showing the mid lane trying to go on to Copy. That was awful.
That is a triple question mark right there for the whole team of Poor Rangers.
Yeah, what was that?
This is even worse than the previous play where they tried to grip the dragon.
Yeah, I think just a very stunning sequence of events here from Poor Rangers where it's not too clear what they're trying to achieve. Where's their mind state at? Do they really think they're that far behind in the game where they need to go for things like that? Because they just got the Aegis.
I don't think they
just got
can
a few
even tell you. They have no idea what's happening.
Immersion literally relocates into a location that Rune Eaters are fully aware of because, you know, you can see the animation, farms out the jungle and then just leaves. That's a major cooldown being used. And Rune Eaters, they can maybe pressure out this tower or try for something on the map and know that there's no threat.
Looking good right now for Poor Rangers. And the game is just going to get harder and harder just based on matchups. Klings, he's fully countered by the Slada Drow. It's the Beastmaster Raw. I mean, I guess they can relocate him out of the Raw, but you can never be too confident in the fights because of the Slada. Slada is an absolute nightmare of a matchup for Klings.
Well, ripping into Copy. The only reason why he turned around and started to tank quite a lot of it is because his team was on the way, but in a 1v1 situation... I will say, apart from the time that Till the End decided to grip the Black Dragon, they've been doing a pretty good job taking down Malik's summon. They have not allowed it a lot of space on the map to keep on pushing these waves, clearing out the locations. So good on them. Something that's important. Daytime, things come out. I think Copy spotted the smoke, maybe.
He was just running out with like, no fear of dying.
Yeah. He knows that they don't have enough burst for him unless they throw everything the puck and the Klings have. There's teams nearby enough to help him out.
Call
comes out.
Copy though, so tanky.
How do you try and kill him? Roy onto the Klings, but no one's focusing him down at the moment because of the grip. Buyback immediately, Eki fell first, uprooting them. Spells thrown out on both sides as Rune Eaters regrouping around this tombstone. Eki rejoining the fray. But I think you give up this position.
That was a very, very awkward fight right there from both sides. Felt like the fight was gonna be really bad for Poor Rangers, but it somehow worked out for them. They get the Lion, they don't expend anything apart from their spells, and they get out. And it's Ghost Scepter on Immersion, so he's gonna be able to survive the barrage from the Drow and the stuff. Felt like Rune Eater should be way more comfortable than this. You know, it looks like right now they could still make a mistake or two and just lose control of the game.
Yeah, the fact that PR are still alive and not just kicking, but slapping at times Rune Eaters around is very surprising to me. Just goes to Chasm Stone just to probably increase the range of the call into the BKB shortly after. Links gonna have that army. And Rune Eaters don't have very much heroes capable of clearing those archers in a jiffy.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's going to be a lot of physical damage. Ike running up to the high ground, put the skeleton archers down. Looks like Ike will just accept his fate. But a Raw on the back line. Looks like Malik's found a target. Bane's eliminated. They found the puck on the front as well. Having to relocate back out. They leave TA2000 behind on the Axe and find themselves in a huge pickle. And now the Axe in the mid lane jumps on down. They find him. They caught themselves up on the high ground and take that fight.
Yeah, again, you know, Nikki on the puck just getting stunned by the Starla and just killed off immediately. It's not really respecting the fact that the Starla has just such a huge amount of burst on him.
This goes back to what you were saying, where the matchup is just something that it seems like he's not very good at, right?
He doesn't respect, or he just doesn't really feel like he's gonna die, you know, like the set that call. And then they keep chasing with the secondary. Like the fact that he chased, like here, you see, like he just chased. He can't chase on the thing and running up the ramp just like that. Just a very, very bad move from Nikki Cool. And now the game has just been, given, you know, to Rune Eaters because they are in a very, very crucial position in the group where they need every win they're gonna.
Malik, he is just a problem. All these summons, things that Bane and Io cannot deal with. And it looks like it's the beginning of the end here. Rune Eaters very close to crushing Poor Rangers underfoot, and the tips come through. They're feeling good. Poor Rangers, they came into this series with nothing left to prove, right? Just leave it all on the table, leave it all here in Paris. One final game and GG is called. Their time at EWC has come to an end. Further ensure their survival. Now it all comes down to how BBT and Gamer Legion pans out. Gamer Legion, just to refresh the memory, already one game down, which puts them in a done everything that they can. Right, the rest is up to fate, and that is a good feeling because at the end of the day, you know you grew, you knew you tried, and you closed this series out even though things got hairy.
You did your job, and that's the best you can do.
That's all you can ask for.
So there will be no regrets, nothing, you know, just hope for the best. But yeah, I mean, we see a lot more, I think, cleaner gameplay from Rune Eaters today. I mean, obviously their opponents are not as strong as the opponents from the days before, but still, it's really, really important for them to show that we can play some clean Dota. We can, you know, do what we're supposed to do with our heroes. We have the team play, we have the synergy, and I think this game, it's not so much on Malik, but, you know, Copy was the one, you know, the shining star of this game. And he showed that both games with the Star, he's able to play that rotating, aggressive style. And I think the only criticism I have for Rune Eaters is maybe they could have done more to claim the first Roshan, because I felt like they were a little bit too hesitant during the nighttime phase, the 15-minute to 20-minute nighttime phase, and they couldn't really contest the Rosh. And after that, Poor Rangers got a pick off, they get Rosh. I don't think they were supposed to get the Rosh with the lineups, but they got the Rosh, and somehow, even though they had the Rosh, they had some sloppy plays. They had 3 heroes on the high ground, showed on their lanes. So immediately, Rune Eaters see they don't have 5 heroes here. How are they allowed to sit on our high ground?
Yeah.
Let's just kill them. You saw
Get
them
in there.
they TP it in on the start immediately.
Straight
jump.
away, yeah.
Even though the Klings at Vegas, there's no point because they're not ready in a position. So I think these are like, I don't want to be harsh or anything, but these are very, very amateurish mistakes. And you don't show on the lane when your team is attempting to do something. They're in a very advanced position.
Yeah. And I honestly think that this is a nice glow up, right? Earlier on when we got the chance to speak to Eki yesterday, he told us all about how they feel like they're moving closer and closer to their peak form. They're getting to the level that they want for themselves. And today, another step in the right direction, because I think some of our criticism of them he's the one calling the shots. He's the one sort of making these jumps. Sure, it's not perfect yet. There were some moments where things got thinking out in front of everybody, and then maybe the rest of the team wasn't ready to follow up. But then you can also track that back maybe to the rest of the draft, right? It's like the line has to do it, and then Slada has to do it. I think this time round in this game too, it made Malik who can jump in as well, Eki who can jump in as well, and everything's looking a lot more balanced.
Yeah, for sure. I think they've learned a lot from their previous series, and I feel like they look like a different team today.
Yeah.
Made some adjustments. I mean, sure, there's a little bit of fumbles here and there, but I think overall they look a lot more.
And I think Copy really showed up today on the Slada. He's done an excellent job for himself. The first game, they managed to tighten things up, come through. And at the start, we already said, you know, the experience is going to matter. And Copy, Malik, the bunch of them, they show they've been on the big stages before, and they're ready to keep it going. Ready to stay here, move on to survival stage, and continue the run. It's still not entirely in their hands. They still have to wait for BBT and Gamer Legion to conclude. But like we said, at least they've done all they can.
Yeah, they did their job, and now it's just hoping that everything will work out for them.
Yeah. Hope is a very strong thing, especially when you feel like the wins are in your favor. You've done as much as you can, and that's all you can ask for. The vibes are good. Yeah, I mean, we heard from Eki earlier, and it is going to be an absolute pleasure right now because we also have the chance to hear from the man of the match, in my opinion, Mr. Copy. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, of course, I have to congratulate you because I'm sure you're aware this match was extremely important, just like the one yesterday, right? In some cases, from your time playing in NA and everything, what was the feeling like as soon as that second game ended? Did you guys all feel relieved? What was the team talking about?
Yesterday or today?
Today.
Today. Yeah, we were all relieved, obviously, but it's also in our heads. We were always thinking a bit about the game. We're through now, so yes. I think we're really happy right now.
Yeah, we just have to get additional confirmation. We're not entirely sure, but yeah, BB, you know, if they, whatever the case is, you guys have already done the most, right?
Yeah.
So I believe you guys are through. What does this mean for you guys? Because obviously, you know, playing Pipsqueak +4 for quite a while, being signed, I know that was a big deal for you guys coming into this tournament, and the trajectory seems to keep going up, even if it's only incremental. What's it like?
No groups.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, this tournament in itself is like the most important one for us right now because our focus, everything on this.
Amazing.
I mean, stronger teams, and which aspect will you feel like your team has improved the most throughout the group stages?
I think it's a lot about this situation after laning, like from minute 10 to 20.
Yeah.
I think it's the most important part of the game right now. It's like where you can see difference between the real good teams and the mediocre ones a lot. So we're like focusing a lot on the map movements from the top teams, trying to copy some patterns, what they're doing and everything. And I think we keep getting better.
But could you shed us some light, you know, with what's important? Is the heroes that are working together, or the vision, or what are the important factors?
It's a lot of things together, right? But what we have right now is a lot this concept about groups, and you wanna, you know, of course, pushing a lane, you need to make sure you have people behind him so you can push the lane. You need to place vision in front of him. These lane wards are kind of important, playing them less again, but I think they're still very important for the game. Also, this entire, you know, Roshan Tormentor, you always need to be ready at every time. Try to not give it up, like against Falcon. We lost Roshan 2 games in a row at minute 16, and now we're trying to focus more on it as well ourselves.
And do you feel like for you have a preference on the sides? Because you spoke about how important it is, like playing the map. Do you think there's a preference on side? Is it easier to play on Radiant or Dire?
To me, I kind of prefer Dire a bit, just because it's for the mid lane matchup, but I think the map situation is a bit easier to play on Radiant, in my opinion. The only thing Dire really has...
Yeah, and of course, we don't want to take too much of your time. We know this is a really big moment for you guys. You know, you've been on the biggest stages before, and here you are in Paris competing at a LAN again. It's great to see you back, Copy, and we congratulate you. If it really is the case, I think you're through. I think you're through. Let's just count it as you're through. Congratulations, sir. We'll let you join your team. Thank you, Copy, for joining us. And a big congratulations, because Rune Eaters, we've been following their story the whole time. We've casted them since day one. It's tangible, right? And I love that he pointed these things out. Winter, you ask great questions, because we're kind of dialing down back to what we were criticizing them for a little bit in the earlier stages, right? We're saying the 10 to 20 minutes, they're running around like Copies joining into the mix. They really are leveling up.
Yeah, I think it's very important to identify what's the problem. It's okay to lose the games.
Yeah.
The takeaway, you have to have the right conclusions. It's very important to understand what is the team doing wrong. And you have time, you know, like series, it's very important to look at the replay, look at the other games. What are other teams doing? What are they doing to win their games and learn from it?
And that is what they're doing. He's living up to a name. He's doing a little bit of copying, and hopefully he can copy. The things have settled up in Group A for the most part. Group B is far from done. Well, at least the rest of it. For the next 2 teams coming up, unfortunately, they've already been eliminated, which means that this is a match about pride. It's L1 versus Level Up. We've been following Level Up since the start, and we'll continue to follow them till the end after a short break.
Level details, flawless lighting. Elevate your content with Kling AI 4K today.
Still trying to get to the Axe BKB.
Now that's how you can farm.
Oh yeah. This is another vision mechanism.
Yeah, why do you go early Axe on Clockwork? What are you looking to achieve for it? Is it about the spamming rocket flares to push out lanes? Is this a map play?
I'm trying to think of why he wanted it this game in particular. Because I've not seen him buy this early in any other game.
I think it's, here's my theory. Extreme gaming is more effective here.
Could be able to spam them out. Get vision on these two supports, get vision on the snap. It's a little extra AoE for this Terrorblade.
I think to say he's pretty close to his base here.
Yeah, you're not
forced him to use
pushing up here in terms of objectives, and you're watching your other two lanes get shoved in.
Especially since it is their Aegis timing, I guess. Telekinesis turn around. Malrine going to be Fiend's Grip on the first life. Now, Extreme still need to retreat here, unless Ame can get a Sunder on somebody. Nice call on the Doom, but they stop the Terrorblade. The Terrorblade did
got the Sunder.
It goes off barely. They still commit to him. He's still going to be in trouble. He's still going to die to the Doom. One out. They'll jump to it. Malrine's going to chase. There's Crit on the other side. Telekinesis running down the river. Nicely played, but FY, he doesn't really have an out here. It gives him enough time to buy out his shard, though, so he won't lose too.
Rough fight for him. He had to try and do something to buy some time for Ame. That Aegis a little bit. Ame pushing in that tier 2. Lingered a little too long. You get caught. Now you have to commit to try and salvage this situation. It ends up costing you a lot.
If I recall, he was pretty low on mana, too. It's not even like he had that much resources for his first left die. They chased down,
for sure,
maybe even more heroes, or at least more efficiently.
It's the Clockwork causing him so hard to disengage against 10-man battle plan.
Yeah, would you agree that it feels like Clockwork, maybe it's Crit, but why would that be?
Okay, well, this is going to sound a little mean, but I think Clockwork is better against teams that don't have like 100% discipline flowing in the team fights, you know?
Okay.
It takes advantage of.
Crit slowed down by his Aghanim Scepter. Might just be in range. XXS, the smoke broke, but they don't see him because it's nighttime. He managed to blink on top of him. Okay, so they do get it.
Solid. You get stolen.
18.
Pretty nice. You get some tower damage too. Ame sitting here with this MKB. He takes
the landing better, and they're in better positions to take objectives afterwards.
I think it's just more straightforward for them. They smoke in, XXS is going to jump somebody, then you have follow-up stuns. It's a lot easier than that game 1. We'll see if they can catch the Ember. There's the Axe from Malrine. Could be equally as elusive this game. They have some nice tools to potentially catch them. You're going to have to execute that.
Oh, hello, Snaking.
Goodbye, Snaking.
That's a freebie.
You're not TPing out of that.
No, Ame does so much damage with a rushed MKB.
Got that gunpowder gauntlet too. Feels good.
That's crazy. He went from level 7.
He did get a lot of gold for killing Nobar.
Make music that's uniquely yours. Try My Taste free or go pro for voices and custom models.
Butterfly, Daedalus, whatever.
Yeah, what's the thought process? Linken's versus Lotus in this game? Because XXS, he's going to go Lotus.
I don't like Lotus as much. I think you'd rather block this Doom than reflect it.
I would also argue that Shiva's, in a way, also lets you... It kind of accomplishes some of what you...
Sure.
Helps the TB maintain that distance anyway.
That's where XG need to decide how these fights are going to go and what they're going to try and aim for. If they want to just send their frontliners in and that's going to create space for the Terrorblade, Ame can itemize for higher DPS, and you can just buy zone control items on the side of XXS.
To say his Blink Dagger's on cooldown right now. This is going to be awkward. Hit by the hook shot, bounce back by the cogs. He has a BKB, but it's been chain stunned up and he can't get out. Too much damage is done. That is so bad. He was just slightly separated from his team. The rest of Extreme Gaming were on the other side of the river.
Maybe they get something cheeky here.
Yeah, another setup where maybe somebody walks into them for the Fiend's Grip.
There's no Doom available. That is a big opening for Ame.
They're going to go out to the Wind Ranger, see if they can call him. Snaking has to get the Tombstone saved.
No chance. He got slept.
Nightmared immediately. Really well played by X-Nova. He'll go for the kill. Still though, Malrine, he's dicing him up something fierce though. He quit, but not a big Sunder, though. Still at half HP, still with no way out. He has to turn around and swing. There's no other Extreme Gaming fight. They choose to take it, and they still end up on the losing side. 2 for 5.
How'd that go so bad? They slept the Undying, they killed the Wind Ranger. That fight should be good at that point. There's no Doom available. You are missing Snapfire, and that's a huge portion of your follow-up DPS here. Still, it felt like it should have gone better, and it's just Ember
TV
slicing everybody up.
Fragile to magic damage, right?
I agree, but this is the game you picked it into. This is what I'm saying. Like, these matchup theory doesn't really have any favorable core-to-core. So you're worried about a lot. And he doesn't have a defensive item. There's no Satanic, there's no BKB. Doesn't have that Scotty yet. He's still pretty fragile. Flesh Golem hitting cogs, that's pretty nice. It's Amar who gets all those kills at the end too, though.
Amar grows bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Shiva's in. He is going to go the Aghanims build. So look for that big AoE Doom if they don't have ways to disengage, which they will. They do have Cookie.
I think the damage is going to happen too fast. I think that's the issue.
I don't think you're wrong.
Even if you get out of it, Falcons can still just charge at you.
Man, because really that Axe rush, he has gotten a lot of farm from the Rocket Flare spam.
He is real fat.
Maybe Crit was just feeling himself after game 1. Said, damn, I'm good. You know what? I should have more farm. I should have more items to play with. I'm too good.
He should be. I think he has looked like the best Clockwork in this tournament. The amount of work he does and how consistent it is every game, and he doesn't feed. I think a lot of Clockwork you see you have like 7, 8, 9 deaths or whatever you're creating space. He has very low death count and extremely high impact in every team fight.
With the level 15, he's got the 2 with the slight there.
He has Aeon Disc
anyway. As well, so
might get popped if you can land some kisses.
Try to land kisses on Skeeter instead. Well, that's kisses on cooldown. Is that enough for Falcons to finish up Roshan with confidence?
Bigger spell meta. I'll make pop meta here.
Oh yeah, it's
so you're not doing anything.
I mean, Falcons are actually pushing the fight to them. Maureen, he managed to kill X. All bad for Extreme Gaming. Hook shot stops the BKB TP away. They might just get wiped here. Maureen, are you going to go for that last one? A blink away from X6S gets him enough distance. He will not collect on the final kill, but 4 for nothing.
Again, it's the same paradigm as game 1. You bait them in a little bit. They miss one jump. They misuse one spell. The clock is ticking on the meta. They're trying to disengage. You find an opening. There's just no organization in this team fight for XG as Falcons pick them apart.
Don't even need to do the Roche. They can take the mid lane of Barracks and go back for it as Extreme Gaming are respawning.
I will say this Ag's Clockwork is also really nice with Doom. You get initial vision mechanisms, but if you doom somebody and then you just start laying all these rocket flares into them, it's obnoxious.
A dangerous game right now. He knows the tension's definitely coming his way. He cuts the wave, farms some neutrals, blinks away.
Rolling quickly. They have triple Shivas, by the way. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I did notice that. There is more value to having multiple Shivas
for sure
than previous.
Very little overlap now.
And in this game, if it's just the
Spellcasters, for sure. Especially if you benefit from the AoE.
Yeah, you don't really have an AC hero, so.
Just a good ends up Falcons. Give it to Skeeter here, who can go straight to the Daedalus and be a massive damage threat. Too many problems to solve for Extreme Gaming right now. Running out of time to solve them.
And don't even get the shard. That's kind of sad. Could have used it. They are so close to Scotty on Ame. Now, I don't know how much that changes. And they don't have a way to stop that. They will never potentially have a way to stop that because nobody's
You can go on the Doom if Amar gives it to you. Maybe he lags out.
That's the hope. There goes Smallreen. Spotted a support.
Yeah, look at him go.
Gets the kill.
Gets.
And he is almost level 25 off of that kill. So all the remnants he expended, if he got...
Luke got cut. Nice play by XXS. So guarantee his Lotus Orb respawns off the Courier. They finished the Scotty for Ame. They did get to their next set of items. Can look to take a team fight when the Aegis expires here. Still 3 minutes For Falcons, however, gives them a decent opportunity to try and find something into some more building damage.
There on the right side of the map, Extreme Gaming likely to push out somewhere, so they smoke, sweep to the left. See who shows, and it's going to be Ame. Ame shows
he can live, right?
Cover your eyes, Avery. Now we taking left side of the map. Let's re-secure the right side. Just don't let Extreme Gaming get out there. Because there is a possibility. Again, it's a Sapphire. If he can get to Sight the Vice, he's got the cookie charges. If they can get the initiation, a lot of ifs. But it is possible for Extreme to win a fight. Not without the Terrorblade, though. So that's going to be a free high ground hit. 2 lanes of barracks should be acquired here for Falcons. It's a nasty combo. These rocket flares just given the... Not only just canceling blink daggers, given the information for the Ember Spirit, he then can go in deep, catch those heroes before their blink comes back up. Xnova, spotted, does not get him on the chains.
I think Falcons use this hero better than almost any other team. Broken, like, whatever. You can say that about any spell. They use a lot of the utility of this hero in really smart ways. Rocket flares are constantly scouting gank targets or threatening heroes on lanes. It's giving you vision initiation in the fight for your other cores, but it's not necessarily the clockwork going in himself. And then I feel when Falcons do play around this hero in the team fights, the cogs are always creating some sort of disjoint. It's splitting the fight up.
Yeah.
Where you have like half of XG in this game are on one side of the cogs, hookshot, the other half are on the other half, or bailing someone out. It's like half your team is dying, and you're caged off from that half, and you're just watching them die. It's really obnoxious. It's also a great hero to reinitiate. If you kite out the first half of a fight and then want to go back in, there's almost no better support at guaranteeing that you can find a catch in that situation than the clockwork. So
sure.
It actually... And just let something else through that is more one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Because the other issue with this type of abuse is it's very hard to come up with solutions for it. Like, you can't really itemize against clockwork, you know? What are you buying to deal with hookshot cogs, rocket flares? It's not a hero where, oh, I'm playing against Viper, I can buy Dispels and Hurricane Pikes and stuff. It's not... Even Lone Druid, I think, in some ways... is a little easier to itemize? Is that a weird statement? I guess that statement makes no sense.
You're also kind of comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah, that's why it makes no sense. But,
time is still too much. Doom is, by the way...
always need to make sure this hero is viable.
It's too much.
20k net worth lead. What did XG get to? They got to... A little worried about what this Ember is going to do with Aeon Disc, level 25. Double Sleight of Fist. He's just going in.
Look at that. Hello, Xnova.
Got hexed.
He does get hexed.
Dota fans, it is Slacks here at EW. Our makeup, do some interviews. It's sure to be exciting, and we're going to walk you through each one of the teams and see what they're up to. In fact, Liquid. Wow, look at them. Look how happy they are. I've never seen a team so happy to do Media Day. Let's go bother one of them. You guys have a lot of cameras coming your way. Hello. Hello. Good to see you, sir. Are you excited for Media Day?
Yeah, I'm like, super excited.
Oh
Especially Media Day with you is like the blessing in disguise.
Well, I'm not doing it, so have a great day without me, my friend. Blitz, are you okay? What happened?
I shattered my ankle, but...
Doing what?
I fell on it, and then I snapped into it, and now it's just up and in.
Okay, well...
Would you like to see it on camera?
Yeah, show us. No, don't do that. That's going to freak out the audience. Sir, I'm so sorry. I would carry you to Media Day, but as you carry the hopes and dreams of the Dota community, we love you, Blitz. Feel better. Happy Media Day. Goodbye. The hardest job in esports, it's not playing. In fact, it's doing makeup for everyone that comes to EWC. These talented men and women make these gamers look presentable for lovely. Let's go ahead and check things out. We've got our own boys here. Mr. Coach, do you get makeup?
Yes.
Yeah?
Can you tell?
I cannot tell. You look like you naturally woke up today. You feeling good? You looking good, bro.
Thank you. Like, I don't need makeup. You have to do a toner.
Toner.
And then you have to do moisturizer.
All right.
And then you're supposed to do one more, but I don't know what it is.
Are you a Media Day makeup? We got more Aurora Gaming boys coming in here. Look at that fresh. God damn, can we get a lush shot out of this? God damn, this is good. Can I shake your hand, ma'am? You did God's work on that one. Incredible work. She's very busy. Don't tell her. All right. Hello, sir. Welcome to the makeup chair. How much moisturizer are you looking for here today?
A lot.
A lot. A lot, he says. God damn. That's the key to beauty right there. You get in there, Mira. Thank you so much. Wow. Incredible job by all of our makeup artists here. They have to go through so many people all day. And Dota players got to be in the top 10 worst. I can say that.
Introduce yourself, young man.
I am Nikolai, BB3PX from Level Up.
How old are you?
I am 23 years old.
There's no way you're 23.
I am 23.
Does anybody tell you look a lot younger than 23?
Yeah, that's always happening when I'm trying to buy alcohol.
Oh, do you buy a lot of alcohol?
Not a lot, just for holidays.
Oh, just holidays. How many holidays do you celebrate?
Maybe 2 or 3 in a year.
Oh, that's it. Okay, that's not too bad. How are you guys feeling at this tournament?
It feels very nice. I appreciate that I came here.
That's good. And how long have you been with this team?
I think 3 months together.
So you're pretty happy to be here then?
Yeah, I'm so happy.
What is your favorite thing about Dota 2?
You always can do something new.
I've been watching Dota for a long time. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true, for real.
So do something new when I'm casting your team, okay?
Okay, I'll try.
And last question I've been asking everybody, I don't know why. If your team were to break out into a fist fight, okay, you fight each other physically, who would be the victor, do you think?
I think...
Aspect, not the strength necessarily. Okay, cool. Appreciate your time and good luck at the tournament.
Thank you.
He thinks he can come in here and play my game. He knows nothing. This is my ladder. You can't climb it. It's better than me Heartsucking Masters. You're going too far now. Old me. Okay, yeah. Do something then. Raw energy. Blow the house down. You look nervous. You look short.
Do you really need the wraps?
Yeah, that feels like overkill to me.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever... Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
We were there. For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
We booked Esports World Cup.
Heartbreaking, but the eliminations will keep on going on. We're moving on to Group B, where our eliminated teams are already confirmed. L1 and Level Up. It's gotta be a sad day. It's gotta be a rough day, especially for the Group A and Group B guys. But these guys, they've had the full day to maybe process it already. The results were already confirmed yesterday. So maybe today, they can just play freely, try and take away as much as possible from it. As you keep saying, it's all about what you learn.
Yeah, it's all together. You have to stay together.
That's the tricky part, right? I feel like you see teams like Poor Rangers, you can tell that just from the way they interact with each other, the vibes are good, right? The guys clearly get along, but maybe the Dota's not quite at a level yet. But of course, when you're in stacks like that, you don't really know what's next. Like a small offer could come your way. Maybe you get to play with a player you've always wanted to play with. You step away, and then a lot of what you've built here comes crumbling apart. That's kind of where you need to take away as individual players as well. However much you can, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. L1 team versus Level Up. Coming up is our match. Now, Level Up, we've been following their story since the start. Understand it, right? Like Level Up, they're just not really at the same power level as everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, they're lacking a lot of like inputs. Yeah, they can't play it. They don't pick it.
Yeah.
So I would just assume they can't play it.
Yeah, because why else would you not be picking the meta heroes? It's like, it's just a flat out limitation. And I keep coming back to this because I feel like it's such a damning description of this team. Like, I would never be able to say this myself, but then obviously I can rely on Mira to say it in an interview. You're just playing like you play your pubs. You know, the way you're just picking comfort heroes. You're not really thinking about like how to construct these moves in a convincing way. And then on the flip side, you have L1 team who also have qualified to team much as possible from every series, especially since you didn't get to win any so far. You want to at least put something on the board on your way out, right? There's a certain level of pride, maybe just kind of feeling out your own power level in relation to even your region.
Catch some of their games, I felt like they just didn't really know, like again, like the macro play, you know, they need to identify who's going to be playing with who, like which hero is going to go where, and the ability to use gates, how you're using, is going to change a lot of your decision making. If you see certain information on the map, you're going to make a different decision. But if you don't see that, you can't make that decision. So the wards on the lanes, very, very crucial. And because the map is so big, it's very difficult to de-ward. So you see some teams like, who was it, that buys an early gem? It was P-Time. P-Time, they buy an early gem. Like even pre-20 minutes, not many teams do that.
Yeah.
Because it's important that you remove all the deep lane wards. There's just too many spots. You cannot really guess where the wards are going to be. So you just need a gem to remove them.
Yeah, absolutely. But with this long laundry list of macro things, you're talking about things that cascade into each other, right?
Yeah.
Vision, the control. For us, on the surface level, we see very basic things. Like we're looking at a team, we're like, why aren't you making this decision? Why aren't you doing this? But so much thought goes into one small thing, even pushing out the wave, like Copy was saying. You know, you might be watching the game, you're like thinking, oh, you know, why isn't he going there? They're thinking about setting up vision in front, having a group behind fights. Then you're talking about the item timings. Then you're talking about combining together, where you position on the map. It is so much to work through is the main problem, right? And the thing for Level Up is, I'm not sure how much they were able to take away from their games, because in comparison to a team like Rune Eaters, it feels like day to day, I didn't necessarily sense a major change. You know, I didn't really feel like they lost this way on game one and now they've turned things around. Or at least now they've improved on this aspect. I'm not sure about you though.
Yeah, it's hard, you know, it's difficult. There's so many aspects in the game right now. There's just too many things you need to learn, you need to pay attention to. When you are looking at the replay, you have to look at the replay from your teammates, not just yourself, you know, to understand what are the best course of action given the situation. Because also the fact that the communication impacts the decision making a lot. I don't think we've been able to touch that topic a lot. We've been mentioning the wards and we've been mentioning like the plays, but the communication is going to play a huge part in your players deciding what to do. So who is supposed to be talking? At what moment?
Who takes the responsibility in the shot calling?
Who takes the responsibility? And how are you talking? If you take too long to to tell your teammate something, it's going to be somebody dying on your side. So you need to keep the comms short, concise, and...
You never want to say words that are not necessary to the information you're trying to portray, right?
It needs to be, I want to say maybe 50%.
50%?
Yeah, I think half of the gameplay is the comms. If you do not talk in the right way, if you do not portray a message or send the message in the right way, it's just going to make the whole team play very, very difficult. Remember the game yesterday? I mean, the draft already started. Strange, right? So the puck was coming and Malik was just dooming the enemy carry.
Like on
and it looks strange, but that could just be
a comms thing.
Telling him, I'm coming, but he's not telling him, I need 5 seconds to be there.
Yeah.
Something's small. So I doom.
Yeah.
Like if you're saying you're on the way, so what? Am I supposed to throw my spell or what? So there's a lot of communication. So this game. So we're gonna see the Undying come up, like first pick Undying, and the Techie's gonna pop up. We see a Undying because you get to kite him out, you have the taser, you have to disarm, you can slow him.
Yeah.
But again, like not many teams are utilizing this hero. This hero doesn't feel like a very top tier position to move around. If they don't have a stun, how are you supposed to kill the guy that shows up on the lane?
Yeah, Techie's kind of more of a...
Because he takes... You're gonna farm. You're gonna farm a lot on this hero.
Yeah, you're gonna collect that money, baby. This about this hero is, on the pause 4, it still contributes a lot in terms of damage dealt. That might be a Zeus situation, but I also think that he can provide so much. Like, if you give him the time in the team fights, he can kill everybody.
It's not about providing a lot or less. It's about providing the right things your team need. If you look at the patch, the meta, the heroes that are good on the core heroes, a lot of them are just damage dealers, like the Snap, the Drow, the Shadow Fiend, the Puck. These are all damage heroes. Like on the off lane, even the off lane, a lot of it are just damage heroes because they are the Helm heroes. Either you're playing the Helm heroes or you're playing the Dagger heroes, which I think most of the time is the Helm heroes. So as a support in this card that's lacking the most, the setup comes from the mid hero or the support heroes, And I think you have to just get to a lot of trouble, In a lot of the level up games, I just felt like they didn't play well, yes, but at the same time, they were not really given a lot of tools to work with the setup of the draft. They would just pick double range supports like Hoodwink. Like, it's not about range melee, but it's about the role.
Yeah.
Like, you could be a range hero, but you could be a frontline. They are thinking that Undying needs to be paired with a range hero, so they're picking Axe.
Like, they're preemptively
Yeah, but the problem
to...
is Axe is the decay spam.
I can't imagine. It's kind of like you just give them what they want and they're going to pick the Drow anyway, along with a Bane. So maybe switching things up. Perhaps this could be a pause 4 Undying? Question mark?
Pause 4 Bane, maybe.
Okay. Do you have a preference? I feel like you want to...
Bane. Probably Bane on pause 4. Probably.
Okay. The Undying Drow Ranger pairing...
Not as strong. I mean, the Bane and Drow Ranger is not as strong.
Okay, yeah. Maybe you want something like Bane SF and then Drow Ranger Undying. Right? Like that would that be the...
Not just that. I think you can be the Undying role, sit and baby the carry, you coddle him. But
you can also run around, set up and mess
Undying is not the best hero running around. Only one person does it, Schofield.
Yeah.
He's the only person that runs around with this hero.
Through the mid lane, Puck and Invoker removed at this juncture, so they're a bit worried they lack the lockdown for perhaps Mirage Puck coming through. Mirage also an Invoker specialist. There comes the Dark Willow, so...
The front line.
Okay, yeah, so you've mentioned to me before that Dark Willow is very much a fake ranged support, more of a melee hero disguised as a range support because you want to get up close and personal and do... Okay, wrong guy, sorry.
Wrong guy.
Drow Ranger, yes, that's who I'm focusing down. So now we got a lot of damage to tag him out with the Axe's initial call. You got follow-up with the Blast Off and the Bramble. It just feels like a lot of gunk for this Drow to get through.
She needs bodyguards, Like she's gonna have like a couple more bodyguards. Like we saw a lot of games that this Drow Ranger hero, if you do not have enough, like sometimes 1 or 2 is not enough. You need more. So the more the better. You can protect Drow in the formation, like the diamond formation. Drow is always constantly in the middle. That would be sure. Just diamond formation, just
okay, who's supposed to... Why is the Drow in the middle? Wouldn't you want the Drow to be all the way at the back?
No, not at the back, because you could be backstabbed. So you never want the Drow to be fully behind.
Okay,
you.
So you need a back scout to make sure
you need to have somebody behind, like the save hero, like the SD, Ringmaster, and then your tanks in front, So you have to clearly identify that the safest place in the formation is the middle. It's not the back, it's not the side, but it's the middle.
Right, because you could get stabbed from any angle. Especially with an Ember Spirit in the mid.
Front, So it's different, like based on your hero. So right now their formation, because they have Viper and Drow, they have a front. Like Viper is again, he's a range hero, but he stands in front. And Drow stands in the middle.
Yeah, I will say, I feel like this Viper is picked less to fulfill that diamond formation that you mentioned and more to crush this Ember, right? So we've said about it in the past. Sometimes when the cores don't really complement that idea, that's where the Drow can look a bit weak. Do you agree with this Viper pick here from L1?
It's okay. They don't really need... I mean, they need more stuns, but the Viper doesn't provide stuns. But the Viper is going to win the lane, like punish the lane. Like Ember is a...
But is winning the lane enough, right? That's the question we keep asking.
It depends on how much you're winning the lane. If you're telling me 60-40, maybe no. Yeah. But if you win it 80-20, it's worth it,
Yeah.
So again, every question really depends on the situation, the result. Anything could change. Every game is different.
Yeah. That's fair. And what does this game start looking like for you? Do you feel like Level Up have the advantage going into the last pick where they are missing a carry? Or are you feeling more L1 where they've set themselves up with a Viper that's likely going mid, but there's also a chance it could go off lane?
think L1's lineup is just more, I think, robust and solid. They have a very clear way of playing, whereas level up, again, every game they draft is just the same way,
Yeah.
It's very unstable, a lot could go wrong. They're just playing the heroes that they want to play, they like to play, comfort heroes, and just not really regarding whether it's good, for the game, and the draft sequence, I'm not really like a very big fan of like the draft sequence, Maybe because they don't really have a lot of like flex heroes, so they can't really
set the plan up like that.
Yeah,
right?
so they're always going to get countered in the lane.
Sure. Well, level up, maybe in my very, very noob Dota 2, that seems to be the idea that they're going for. They want to apply pressure, run at L1. Is that not a good idea? What makes you say it's like unstable and things could go wrong?
Just doesn't look good, in the lane. It's not, and I think when you fight at the runes, I don't know. I think like you're up against a Bane, and I guess it's also not fair to compare that because Bane and Undying, they are very, very strong level 1 heroes. They're gonna win the rune fights, and you have an Ember Spirit, which is gonna be counter picked. Of course they don't know the Viper was coming, or maybe they suspected it might come. But you're picking a hero blind, and you do not have the supports to help you get the runes, because if you're not winning your lane, you're relying on runes. So you need the supports to be able to fight the runes. And if you don't have the supports to fight the runes, then what is your game as Ember? You have no game. Yesterday, able to play the map, like help the lanes. So there's a lot of variables that could change the matchup.
I hear you. Is there anything that Level Up can do in this last pick to change the variable of this seemingly rough Viper?
I mean, they can try to pick a win or something to fight, but that's not going to be enough, in my opinion. Now there's this... this ball is just insane. Beast, I don't know how all of these heroes ended up in the same team. Drow, Undying, Beast, they're all in the same team.
Spooky business. Yeah, I mean,
now you need to pick an anti-Zoo hero because your heroes are bad against Zoo most of the time. The Dark Willow and Techies. I mean,
Beast can ramp up the game really quick, get items that are great into the Drow. The Death Ball tries to run into him. He's got a team to fight around him. I don't mind it. It's a good body. I mean, we did see Alchemist succeed in the hands of Nigma Galaxy. That is a entirely different team, caliber-wise. But I don't actually mind. I think this Alchemist, I won't say saved the draft, but it now looks a bit more cohesive.
It gives them a purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick overall given the situation. It looked like it was difficult to pick the last hero, but the Elk gave them an answer against the Helm. It's a pretty good lane with the supports. You need a stun. The front line moves away from that playstyle. But at the same time, you could, I think if there was a game that I would advise the Elk to give Aghanims to your team, it might be this game for the Ember, because Ember's going to be behind. He needs some help, and the Elk can help him out.
But wouldn't that be kind of playing off your losing member? Because you've always told me before, if you have someone who you know is going to struggle, you should go to the guy who's strong.
That is playing on the map. This is different. This is feeding.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to figure out, because I feel like if the Ember doesn't have a good early start, and then you, like, let's say he's behind on net worth, right? He's like poor. And then you give him an Aghanims, that just bumps him up to like regular territory. He's not necessarily stronger. And then you're sacrificing the Elk's game as well.
It's important for him to have a game on the Ember, because the Ember is their catch.
Sure.
They don't have catch on the supports. It's the Dark Willow and Techies. You have Elk stun, that's the only thing. He's the only stun.
Yeah. And the Axe Call stands to reason that you might be able to land the others, right? Because you Axe Call into the Blast Off, into the Terrorize. I can see it happening. It's just a bit tricky to put together. Here we go into game number 1 of this series. Level Up versus L1. Both teams already eliminated. Even with Zayak coming in to stand in for Seyuj, it's just... They haven't really looked quite as solid. We didn't talk about the stand-in effect yet, right? L1, they're not playing with their full roster. And as much as Zayak is a great stand-in...
Axe misjudged?
Just not... sorting out some technical difficulties. Okay, so Viper, Drow, Beastmaster in the same damn team, bro. Along with an Undying. Sheesh. I don't know how you're going to deal against that one. But at least...
Yeah, it's very important for them to address the Helm hero. Like the Beastmaster is going to be creating a lot of pressure for the Drow to farm. So, but again, in the early game, there'll be 2 problems. The Viper is going to crush his lane. The Beast, you need to shut the Beast down because it's a very annoying safe lane. Like the Drow Undying, he's going to win his lane. So, I mean, I think it's going to be really difficult, you know, for level up in the initial stages. There's so many things. There's a lot of things that need to, they need to sort out, you know, if they can actually just sort it out one at a time and get runes, lanes, so you can allow the Ember to get back into the game by rotating to the side lanes. Because if the side lanes also...
Right. Page 1 of the Ember Spirit recovery plan, because he will have his butt handed to him by this Viper. We already see the pressure building up. Taking a very aggressive stance is the Viper, just auto-attacking away. Classic Viper gameplay. Play on the side lanes, help him get back in. Step 3, Aghanim's donation, so he's back on par and he can continue being the catch for the team.
Donation.
Did I miss anything?
You know, he gets something, you know, he has some...
It's a painful one for his own game. And I don't know, I feel like L1, most of the time when you make an investment, you need to wait for a little bit before it pays off. I don't think L1 will let them wait for it to pay off. I think L1 will be barking at their doorstep with this timing lineup. The death ball is strong with this one. Inkrad 4 CS at the moment. Continuing to take the harass. I feel like every Ember Spirit has to take this mandatory training. You know, play against a
matchup.
I mean, I'm sure he's played the matchup. Whether he can actually survive it is another story.
All I'm just trying to say is his experience in the matchup.
Okay. It'd be funny if you say his experience in the matchup, then we look up his stats and he's just lost every single time he's played.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's not experienced with the matchup.
Yeah.
He's played the matchup a couple of times.
Yeah, he's experienced in being bad at it.
He's gonna drag the wave here. This is... the Viper blocks him out. If he gets the drag...
to happen.
And this draw is... I mean, the draw is not completely, like... in the laning phase, he always just gets this long range harass on you. So eventually you'll run out of regen, and then eventually you won't be able to stand in the lane.
Yeah. Do you switch up your build as the axe to accommodate for this? Do you want to go for something like a Ring of Health, or is it just all eyes on the phase boost, Blade Mail, ASAP?
I mean, it depends on the game. If you can get the wave card, you farm behind, then you can get your items, you know.
Sure.
I mean, so far we've seen two approaches. We've seen some just go for the Blade Mail, just cut waves, you know.
Yeah.
Farm Vanguard.
I guess it depends on whether you can pressure them or not.
Overall, it's based on your style as a player and based on your judgment, what can jungle, you know. At least he doesn't have the 1-1-1. Yesterday, the Ember we saw had 1-1-1 at level 3 against Viper.
Yeah, it was
I have no idea why, and he couldn't jungle, and now at least Darknya can just jungle right now.
That might literally have been the copy Ember versus a Viper. I'm not entirely... just have to refresh my memory here, but... L1? At the risk of losing respect here... not my respect, but their respect. Queasy will get returned upon, so Snowy able to clean this one up. Almost... oh, he got the neutral creep deny! That's cheeky! Nicely done.
Yeah, not bad, not bad, not bad at all. Taking away some of the gold from draw.
So the side lane's going well for level up despite the Ember Spirit suffering. That's a good sign.
Good news.
That's perfect.
Who does he want to gank first? I think
probably
I did
Drow,
draw.
right? It's got to be the Drow.
Draw. You want to shut the draw down. Very snowball-based hero. He wants to get a good start, get his helm on a very good timing, and then run at your towers, you know. So
I mean, I guess it's the difference between what the side laners are saying, right? Because Woe and Hatred already have taken those first steps in taking down the beast. Whereas you think about Snowy in the top side, the Drow has yet to be pressured just yet. Sure, you've killed Respect, but an Undying always going to be happy to give up the life for his carry. Hits up TP there from the Axe to get away from the Tombstone committed.
that's a pretty good move, forcing the Axe back.
Yeah, full stuff, and he can clean up some of the remaining creeps in this stack as well. This is a big deal.
That is very painful, Mike. I can feel it from here.
Yeah. I can smell the disappointment almost. Oh, Zayak, that's a great play. I mean, even though they are eliminated, one of the players that seems to be a frequent stand-in. Oh, that is so smart. Inkrad, he's getting body blocked up. Zayak, what a setup there. Gonna Viper Strike dodge for him right now.
Yeah, he needed to tell his supports to come closer so he could actually deward there. And that is... at the same time, maybe he just didn't expect the Bane to stay around.
That's what I'm saying. Catapult timing, Tombstone down. not something that Level Up can really try to fend off unless they bring the numbers. Queasy Hatred reporting for duty, but someone needs to deal with the tomb. The problem is Mirage doesn't have a lot of HP to work with, so they can just auto-attack it down because he can't tank the tower. They even glyph to try and preserve it for that much longer, but Catapult's gonna fall. The pressure will subside at least momentarily. 3 heroes in the mid lane means that no one is on the shrine ground. Vision nicely.
Oh, very nice.
Last moment, Aincrad, a slide though! And again, another situation when Ember gets a kill on the Viper because the Viper is getting a bit too antsy with it. Now a double kill for Aincrad. This is what we're talking about. Level Up. It might be their last game here on the stage, but they came to play.
Again, you know, these are things that I always like to tell you. The tier 2 teams, they're not very good at understanding, okay, our pressure point is done, it's over. It doesn't feel good to do that, to go back, you know, but you have to accept that it's over and you have to back off, and it's a very difficult thing to learn, you know, in the game. Yeah, because whenever you're strong, you just don't want to go back.
Yeah, you want to keep exerting your... It's not going to work out. And for a hero like Viper that really relies on getting that 80-20 differential, like you said, that's going to sting.
Viper looks like he might be able to find a hero here. No, Axe just backs off. He has a lot of time wasted. Space.
Yeah. I mean, L1 are kind of just starting to now run around on moves that don't really find success. Oh, Baby 3-Pack starting to farm back up. This might work though.
I mean, I don't think they can kill this hero.
Set up in the sleep. No TP away. Trying to escape. Okay, the Blood Grenade and the Tombstone to farm the triangle. That's more like what we're talking about.
Yeah, the stacks actually matter a lot more than the kill there. The stacks, the double stacks on both camps. And Drow is really happy. Drow is having like a free game here. Yes, heroes nearby. And Elk is the only one kind of having like a really good game.
Yeah, he's farming up a Storm.
Define enough.
I don't know, like, because right now there are some...
It will never be enough.
There are some parts of the Level Up lineup that are not really delivering, but we're saying, okay, at least Elk's having a good game, right? But then...
But the Elk doesn't carry this game, like, mind you. Like, he can have a good game, but he doesn't carry the game.
So is it like the Ember that has to do it, you reckon? Because if the Elk ain't carrying the game, I don't see any other carry. Everything they can to get the Bane on out of here, even that Viper Strike. Didn't dodge the projectile though, that was awkward there. And Aincrad's gonna run out of mana completely. And another catapult wave, so more pressure coming up. You don't have mana on your Ember, you've used your spells on the Willow. Mirage, again, he's trying his best to tank up for the catapult, but I don't think he can actually afford to stick around here. Tombstone comes down. Can't really afford to commit, you still got a Soul Rip to try and preserve it, or maybe just deny, no. Gold goes over.
Any one of the heroes, back to your question, so nobody can carry the game. That's why
that's why you don't like the draft.
That's why I don't like the draft, because I mean, sure you can count some Axe, you know. There's a Tombstone save, there's Nightmare. I don't think any one of their cores are equipped to be able to carry the game.
Yeah, I hear you.
You can hope for the best with the Elk, but like you snowball the game. But at the same time, there's just like 3 spells that would slow uncertainties, you know, because you need to shut the Drow down, you need to kill the Drow in the fights, but you don't really have the right heroes, or you don't really have the heroes to deal with the saves, you know, coming out from the Bane and dying. It's hard, you know, and you're not snowballing because just based on the lane matchup, you're gonna have a hard time in the initial stages. So I don't think they were set up for success.
Yeah.
Even with the Elk last pick, you know, I liked it, but it's just too many holes to plug.
True. Unfortunately, this is the ship that they're riding now, and they're gonna have to make it work one way or another. 4 series losses for Level Up. I haven't looked at this man on our screen just yet. Corrupted, the Beastmaster, entering the game now with his Helm Dom. Should be a dead tower, and the map's going to start to shrink a little. Lane trying to make the goal into Mirage again. Viper in some trouble, hiding away to the side, kiting away from Baby 3-Packs. They try for the dunk, they don't quite get the connection, but they still find the kill. The question is whether Baby 3-Packs can get out. Absolutely not. Corrupted comes through, roars his counterpart, and gets them the kill. I don't think that was worth it for Level Up.
It's not going to carry the game. I mean, it's okay. It's not like a total loss.
Yeah.
But it's not something that we will feel very...
Bombs are going to blow. Aincrad gets a kill. Nice little setup there. Woe walking on over, using his body.
Yeah, this is what the Elk needs to do. Like, Woe needs to come over and help his team because he knows that he can't carry this game alone with the Elk. So he needs to help his teammates get a game, especially the Ember. I think Ember is actually a hero that if he gets a good enough start, he's already gotten like a pretty bad start. But if he gets like some sort of help to recover and then he gets the Aghanims, I don't know when the Elk is going to be able to give him the Axe. But I can see them having some sort of like Axe, Ember timing. Maybe they can actually create something. Because if the game goes like as per usual, you're getting items on the Elk. I don't see how the Elk is going to be able to play for the other heroes. I think the Axe, the Ember, those are the heroes that can actually do a lot in the team fights.
It's funny that you mention, or at least the whole vibe of how you're talking about level up is that, you know, they are kind of on the back foot because of the draft. You know, you're not really sure what the prospects are for them. But for some reason, win probability is on their side. They don't really have a substantial gold lead despite having the Alchemist. Objectives on the map. They're pretty strong right now. Low cooldowns, can always fight, and the Techies is starting to mine aggressively. So taking these areas away from L1. Queasy's gonna find a stray Bane. Sneaky, sneaky. Got vision on the rune, and they knew that he was on his way. So the setup was easy for Queasy.
No. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's gonna be nighttime soon. Rosh is gonna be in the bot pit. Beastmaster has the helm. So L1 is gonna be looking for the Rosh in the next couple of minutes. I would say ideally the next 2 minutes, and level up, they need to be thinking about contesting. You know, they can't give this Rosh up for free. They have the Vessel down on the Ember Spirit, Radiance plus Dagger, so this is a mini timing for them. If they could kill off an important not the Undying.
Yeah, that's not great.
I was thinking maybe they should have just ran into the Triangle. The Triangle would have a higher chance that they would run into like a core.
They were trying, right? They were on the path for it. They just got intercepted a little bit.
Yeah, but I think their smoke didn't break, and they could have just ignored him. And this is also something you have to...
I don't know, maybe because the Ember smoke broke, so he thought he should just start the fight. But still, L1 able to come through. Alright, well, Queasy will go down. Nicely done. Yeah, I get what you're saying though. I feel like L1 are just in control. Meanwhile, Woe able to... Was that a solo kill on Mirage?
No, he had the Ember.
Okay, Ember just backed up into a Remnant. Yeah, you're right. So that's the Blink Dagger reveal for the Alchemist. I mean, he's doing a really good job keeping his team's tempo up. Like, he's being involved. He's showing up to the defenses that matter, like the mid defense. I like the way the Woe is playing this game so far. Oh, immediate grip. Wait, what? How could he do that? Did he cancel it? He must have cancelled it.
No, he didn't cancel it because he clicked there's a delay of the Shadow Realm, and he just slipped in the realm after the grip was casted.
Huh. Okay.
It's like a small little delay. If you play Dark Riddle, you know, like it's not an instant. You don't instantly go into the invulnerable state.
Right.
Not invulnerable, but untargetable state.
I can't believe that the delay was long enough for the Fiend's grip to go off for like half a second.
Oh, Snow, this is a big one.
Snowy is going to get melted here.
Oh, that's a big one. That's the kill that they were looking for.
Feels like L1 were not ready for that at all. Cute try on the sleep. Zayak tries to get himself over to the other side, but there are enemy heroes all around. So back and forth we go. 3k gold lead now for the side of the Alchemist. But on the other side, on the Dire, they have that Helm of the Overlord complete. So I think some of the map movement will be a bit tougher for them to make. At least on the side of Axe, it was just a bait, pulling him towards the heroes, and now he's going to get left behind. Okay, well, baby, while Viper Strike coming through onto the Ember, they need a bit of vision. Can't see him, mines being set up. This is pretty nice. Viper saved by the sleep, and now he's in deep. Now the Viper is dead. And Mirage, he's not really been the most careful with this hero. Found himself on the receiving end of some blades and some burns earlier.
Yeah, playing too overly aggressive, you know, always constantly putting himself in the line of fire. I mean, I understand that we were talking about Viper being the front line here, but not like this, you know.
Yeah, not to this extent where you're just kind of dying without your team being able to...
The supports have to buy force to kite. They're gonna need a lot of like items to keep the Viper alive. I mean, L1 definitely is hitting a rough patch in the game. This is a time where they need to talk about their priority session here coming up for both sides. If Level Up can somehow claim both of the objectives, it's going to put them in a very commanding position in this game. And this is the time to talk about it. You can't talk about it just 30 seconds before it happens. I think 1.5 minutes ago, like 2 minutes, you need to be planning. Okay, Roche is going to be top. There's going to be a Tom. Are we going to contest? One and give up.
Lines are being drawn towards the mid lane instead though. Less about the Tormentor, more about maybe trying to take some sort of a fight. The hero slipping in and out of vision on the level up side. I mean, sure, maybe L1 are aware, especially with the ward in place. They know that some sort of move is happening. But the Roshan managing to get again comes through.
That's Undying for you, Mike.
Undying, Beastmaster, the Viper, Poison attack stacking up as well. Nice little reset there for L1. And now, with the Aegis in tow, it's going to be a lot harder for a level up to convincingly fight around the Tormentor. You always like to say this.
They have some time to do it, Mike, because L1 needs to go back and regen. They have to reset. Maybe they're going to have some time to do it.
He does have the Aegis, but Zayak is here to save him. Force staff away. Nice terrorize. This is a good formation. Techi's blast off comes flying through. Zayak still surviving, and now you've overcommitted on level up. These heroes in L1 are way too low, but no one's around to finish him off.
That is very, very bad news for the Elk. I can't believe they chose to go on the Viper with Aegis. Was that the right call there?
I mean, they thought they could burst him down, but...
But surely not. Even if they killed the Viper, he has Aegis. Then what? You're getting jumped by the Beast Roar. Drow is right-clicking you with the
You're getting grip.
There's going to be a grip from the Bane, you know? That's just...
Oh, Axe call. Who is he calling? Maybe 3 pairs.
For the Drow, I guess he was ready to trade his life for the Drow.
He traded, less of a trade, more of a donation. This one's a real donation.
Yeah, this is indeed a donation, right? You are spot on.
Very charitable.
It's one of
baby
those,
3 packs.
It is one of those moments where he just felt like, oh, the last fight went poorly.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter what happens there, you know. Like if he kills the Drow, he was never gonna say he kills him. He was never gonna be able to walk out of there alive.
Or maybe he values the Drow's life significantly higher than his own.
Yeah, sure. Maybe.
I would agree. I mean, killing the Drow is very important, especially since she's barely been touched this game. But you can see the idea from L1, and they are executing it pretty splendidly. But to really jump in. They're still trying to commit onto Corrupted. Where's the save? The Tombstone is there.
Entombed.
Coming back out. He doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. Will try and throw the Raw out, but the rest of his team too far away to help. Techi's mines will blow him up. But look at Mirage on the sidelines, ready to rumble. Needs to cancel the blink though. Baby 3 pack should have it up.
Good attempt there from Undying to save him. I mean, right now it's all about like trying to close out the map to siege, you know. Whereas for level up, the Elk is, I think he's at a point of the game where I think this is his strongest point of the game. He has the blink, he has the radiance, he has the BKB. He is going to be like a force in the team fight. Actually, no, he doesn't have a BKB. He went for Demanta. So he wants to play because the BKB doesn't give him a lot of value against the grip, the Raw, the Viper Strike. But you get a sense of feeling if you are just farming on the Elk and nothing is going on, the Drow is just going to outscale you. You know, he's going to be just too much of a big deal in the team fights later on.
Absolutely.
Especially when he gets the Aghanim's. The Aghanim's is a huge counter to the Elk. It's going to make it very hard for the Elk to stand in the front line to tank. Not just him, you know, even the Axe, you know, they're all going to get severely impacted by the Axe from the Drow. The hypothermia arrows. I mean, we don't really see a lot of pipes nowadays in the games, you know, but pipe is very good against the level up lineup.
Yeah.
It blocks the radiance damage.
Beastmaster feels apt, right? He used to be more of an aura hero, I would say. I think still, to a certain extent, kind of is.
I mean, he is still... I mean, the Helm is like an aura kind of hero. Like
sort of, yeah. I get what you're saying.
Going Helm, going AC, then you dagger. 1k. But we always have this saying, you're playing against Elk, the game is even, you Gucci, you know, you're happy.
You're more than Gucci. Everything's fine. You're gonna scale, things will be okay.
Yeah, just have to wait for the moment the Elk falls. After that, he's not gonna get any stronger. He has the AC done. I think this is the point where he should be the strongest in the game with the AC. Manta plus AC. And if they can't, you know, create some sort of impactful fight for the Elk to take advantage of, then Level Up is going to go into the later portions of the game with a lot of problems. Scaling problems especially.
All pretty decent late game heroes. Like the Techies Dark Willow can become pretty scary. And then Ember Axe late game. Oh, I thought that was a...
Light actually mattered so much.
Yeah, it did. I thought he missed the chains. Like I for some reason I didn't comprehend that there'll be a dunk. Ball comes out. Okay. I mean, this Techies is probably toast. Wo's gonna jump in. Wo's in trouble. They need to cancel this grip. There comes the call, but it's far too late. TP out, not gonna make it. Alchemist is down. The backup. It was a bit too slow, and now Aincrad has the Remnant out to safety. You got a TP cancel. Doesn't look like it. Axe is out.
And look at how weak the Elk is in the team fight. The Flash Golem getting one right click on him, getting controlled by the grip, and the Drow just
shreds him,
destroys him. You know, he has the AC. It's not like
the AC?
Yeah, it's not like the Elk doesn't have any armor items, you know, he's just getting shredded.
And also the marksmanship ignoring on the cross. And oh, Mirage again? This keeps happening to him. And you can see he's a little bit like, damn, okay, this has happened to me 3 times now.
Yeah, just
you can't be making these mistakes.
Just a little bit absent-minded when he's...
Kill off of Mirage's mistake. But still, we can go back and look at the replay. And the way this, you know, this is all good. But yeah, I mean, it started out with the Beastmaster in the mid lane versus both of the supports, right? Got a rock, but really nice plays from the supports between the Tombstone save, the sleep into the grip. Turning that around onto the Alchemist.
Mirage just has to be careful, you know, play close to... If you don't have Tombstone and Bane's not around you, you just kind of have to be safe. Play in a much more back position. You don't need to hit the creeps, you just need to stand your poison. Use your Nether Toxin. I feel like it's really difficult to have that habit, you know, because you have this type of like mindset, you're playing a lot of pubs and people don't kill you, and then all of a sudden in competitive games, people are faster, people are quicker, people coordinate better, then you can't afford to play like this, you know. That's why it's always important to have the habit well ironed out, you know, even when you're playing pubs, you know. But downside is it's going to lose you your pub games, you know, if you're playing like this. I mean, it's tough, you know, like sometimes the players, I mean, I understand their difficulties in playing this type of competitive game. There's always going to be that habit that you need to kick, because it's so good in the pubs, but it's just bad in competitive play.
Yeah. We did hear stories about some pro
abandon it. That's your easiest way of getting mechanics practice, you know.
Yeah,
but sure. Some of the players will tell you that you can do...
Basically, it's like a sandbox. I've seen a lot of players use it as warm-up. In comes Wo. Fights breaking out. Respect there to potentially save it. The rest of L1 still trying to fight, but they are being overrun. A Nightfall out from the Drow Ranger. That was 3 packs. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is the first time I feel like in the past 4 days where he stepped up big.
Yeah, it's the first time I see him get any meaningful initiations. He gets 2 heroes, he gets the Undying and the Beastmaster in the core.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was all she wrote, you know. Elk followed up with a very, very nice and easy initiation, and that was it, you know. 2 heroes down, Drow used BKB, try to fight back, but just not enough teammates, you know, around to help her out. Mirage just could not get out because he does not have BKB like Drow.
Yeah, the Viper looking very, very weak right now. But big props to Baby 3 Packs because he knew the Undying would potentially come in for the save. The follow-up call, if slightly, I think it was like slightly delayed to account for it. I can't really blame the Undying. He's been doing a good job so far, but he's getting caught off guard overall as a team on L1. And now the Alchemist, despite the earlier transgressions of the early game between this team, they're now firing out very much able to run over the L1 lineup, despite it, like you said, being a bit better constructed.
Doing anything, it was nighttime. Yeah, not so sure what was kind of happening there for L1, but they're gonna have to make sure it doesn't happen again. They'll lose the shot as well. Shot going to the Techies. And L1 they are by no means all the game, but things are getting...
Radiant's courier has been killed.
When the nuance starts to be factored in, that's where L1's lineup might start to look a bit linear. You have one set of plays, right? You blink forward, you roar, you try and find a grip, you try and find sleep save, tombstone, and then if that set of spells doesn't work, the extended skirmish feels like it should favor level up. The constant low cooldown spells, being able to come in, get the stuns off, the calls off, and the follow-up damage from the techies and Dark Willow, they are ready to go. Nice tombstone save. That's a good start. Mirage needs to get out though. Beautiful force staff up to the high ground. Inkra's trying to trace him down. Mirage still doesn't really have the move speed. Gonna get roared up. And now, where's the rest of his team? Nice call onto 2. They found the Drow. Woe was just a bait. Now it fires those arrows. Gets the job done. Buybacks comes through onto the Undying because they know they have to win this fight. Kiting away, Snowy will drop. And now Mirage finally will be run down by the Alchemist. Despite the buyback, despite the Drow, they just can't escape. And Queasy will lock up Corrupted. Big fight there from Level Up. And Woe, I mean Level Up. It took them 5 games in the group stage to get here. But Woe is finally...
I spoke to you about the diamond position, the diamond formation. They were not able to keep that, you know. Drow was on the side of the formation. That's why she got caught in the call. She was able to kite herself, get to the high ground, but she lost a lot of HP. She had to use her Manta, she had to use her BKB, and I think this was very nice by Darknya just suiciding and just trying to get the trade here on the Drow. Because Drow is the key hero. They need to keep the Drow down.
Yeah. And the rest of the fight cleaned up by Woe. I feel like this guy... He's just carved out the entire opening for his team, right? The fact that he's charging on in there, no fear whatsoever. Sure, I'm certain the Aegis had a part to play in that decision. But they didn't know what to do. They couldn't keep their formation that we saw earlier on in the game. This allows the rest of his supports. And sure, maybe the Alchemist cannot carry the game directly, but if he moves like this, he's absolutely carrying the game for Level Up.
Yeah, he's gonna feed his first Aghanims to... Who's gonna get the first Aghanims? It must be the Ember.
It's gotta be the Ember, right?
Yeah. It's coming on the courier. Okay.
It's already level 25.
And who got it? Oh, wait, the Ember got it? Yeah.
It's on the left. There's a little tooltip.
Yeah, but there used to be like a sound effect, right, when he gives it.
Oh, I know what you mean. Like
I was waiting
for the
little
melting sound kind of.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. It just didn't really.
Maybe it's a little bit too soft this time around. It's okay. The game's still in beta. Thing has to be earned. Level up. Swipe you down. I'm not gonna lie to you. Coming into this series, even though both of these teams were eliminated, I kind of had the feeling that L1 might be the stronger team. Just from the games that I've seen and what they've been. Just off of the Alchemist and this concept of the constant brawling and just the layers in the fight, they've been able to break this Drow Ranger lineup apart.
Yeah, they may not have the most conventional drop, but they're making it work. Like the L was a very nice last pick that tied everything together, but at the same time, like for L1, just felt like a lot of this dash on the Viper, just Mirage dash.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had some timings, they had some really good opportunities, but the Viper just making mistakes, you know, getting caught, dies.
I genuinely think the Viper's mistakes messed up the tempo for his team.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you just 3 deaths and he was just like, oh, I can hit the tower here, but nobody's around the map. Do I do it? Do I not? And he just hits the tower and then he dies. You know?
Yeah, and you think about the flip side of that. Oh, big gain from taking that gamble, and now L1 find themselves corralled into their base. And when you're playing against the techies and you're behind the whole map, everywhere you go, your movements are going to be traced to a T. Just no surprises that you can pull, no smoke moves that you can do, nothing sneaky on the map. You try and farm a fringe camp, bam, there goes a bomb. They know exactly where you are. They're right at your doorstep in 0.2 seconds. Knock, knock. Ready to die? Falling over level up. But instead, Snowy is being... Already mentioned Winter. I feel like the past few days, I have not seen Baby 3pex perform at all. But he is finding his mark here. on the axe. Gotta give props.
I mean, the high ground is going to be the next challenge for them. Do they have what it... Elk is your best tower hitter. The other heroes are not going to hit the tower.
Sure. So what's the plan? Falcon style?
Can't just walk up to the high ground.
I hear
hit
you.
the towers.
Mines are starting to explode.
Somebody has to die first.
I can agree with that. Full 5-man smoke move out from L1 just to get a little bit of farm because no enemy heroes linger. Level up have parked themselves in safe places.
Wo's trying to end the game right here. If he gets a kill, and he's gonna find Mirage, but he has a shield rune. Very, very tanky this time.
Call first. The Elk was trying to wait for the secondary jump. Tomb to save himself. Raw is there. Axe in trouble. Nice small staff away. Wo is focusing down the Tomb. Out comes the Undying. He's gonna drop. There's a grip onto the Alchemist. Someone get him out. Snowy's trying to do the damage, but he just doesn't have enough. The Alchemist able to break free as Aincrad doing damage on the back. This was the Ember that got countered in the lane, but now he gets his revenge, burning up everyone on L1. And this was clean. I mean, this game, it was all Wo Alchemist show. He did such a good job, and even in that final fight, though it was Aincrad who created the space in the end, couldn't have done it without the free gifted donation. I mean, this was awesome to watch, right? Level Up finally having their moment on the last day here of the group stage. Sure, they might be eliminated, but they still show us a little bit of their Dota that they didn't really get to the past few days.
Yeah, unfortunately for L1 on their side, they can even look back and think about, we picked this Viper to snowball to win the lane, and he's just not really been able to do it. Of course, there are also a lot of small little details on the other players that also made some mistakes. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna try to buy back with the Drow here, but I don't know how much can they do to stop this Mega Creeps coming in. Maybe they can prevent it and delay it for a little bit of a time.
Every time you try and grit with the Aghanims, in comes Aincrad ready to punish. TP's coming back in. Don't want to overextend now. Mirage looking for an angle. There's a call. Snowy in trouble. No more save. The Tomb was used through. Aincrad's actually gonna dive in the fountain and cost him his life. He can buy back on that. Only Yules himself. And Queasy gets out to do that, but
he was feeling it, you know.
He was feeling it. He was feeling, and he hasn't felt it for the past few days. So I guess it's fine.
He's earned his right. He was picked blind. He got countered, but he was still able to find a way to survive, be impactful, be useful for his team. He kills the Viper.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we want to praise, Wo on the Elk, but I think Aincrad on this game, he definitely held his own ground. He didn't really crumble like some of the games we saw in a couple of days when he had a bad match early on the Ember Spirit. He waited for the Aghanim Scepter to be gifted to him.
He waited for the handout. Raw comes out, Lotus and the Wind Waker. Nice save there. Beautiful stuff from Queasy while Wo mops up that poor Bane. Big call onto Tombstone to save the Drow, but out just going is called, and Level Up, after so many days of the group stage, can finally say they've got their first win on the board.
And they have finally leveled up, my friend.
Level 0 to level 1. And it's not even over. This is just game number 1.
Big game, for that you feel like previously it was impossible for you. Expect them to do it. So they are definitely on a very, very good streak right now. You're winning this game, and hopefully for them, they'll be able to continue that streak in the last game of their group stages. Keep the momentum going, keep everything going. And as for L1, they have to try to figure out what's wrong, like what the hell, they had like a period of the game where they were in control. They got the Aegis. Everything looked good for them, they just had like a very, very bad mistake on the Viper. I think there was one on the Viper, and then the Rune one, I don't know what minute, where they got the Axe call onto, it was the Beastmaster, and it was
the Undying, who blinked in to try and save the Beastmaster.
They got the double call there, and it was at very, very critical points of the game. L1 just, they lost focus, or at some points of the game, they were good. They were doing good. They were very clear about what they wanted to do. But at other points, They clearly dropped the ball. They lost a couple of heroes, especially Viper getting picked off so many times this game.
Yeah,
like he
I
died
don't know what
9
happened.
times.
What?
I think out of the 9 deaths on the Viper, maybe at least 7 was like 6 or 7. They were really, really bad ones. Yeah. Maybe some were unavoidable, 1 or 2, but the rest were all really bad. And they had like very, very severe implications in the game because the Drow needed the Viper to be able to stand in front to tank so the Drow could do the deeps, in the team
Yeah.
fight. But unfortunately, the Viper was just not strong enough. And you are given this 18 pick to counter the enemy mid lane.
Yeah.
You counter the enemy mid lane.
Start, I asked, so lane winning's not so important anymore. How much do you really need to win the lane? It has to be something like 80-20, even 70-30. Just this situation where you hand the advantage you've gained back to the Ember. So whimsical, like you, no consideration. It almost felt like, and I don't know if this is rude, but at times, some of the members on L1, it almost felt like they were like alt-tabbed or something, right? Like the focus just wasn't there. There was a big lapse. They were like zoning out, and then suddenly they just lose a team fight.
Yeah. They get jumped, Sometimes, I think
this was the moment.
I think this has to do with the comms, right? Nobody's saying anything. I mean, if you're on a Dota team before, you've experienced the environment being a team, there are going to be moments where you drop the ball, especially like a tier 2 team. Like one particular moment, 10 seconds, the communication is 0, like there's just dead air, like nothing's happening, nobody's saying a single word, and this will happen, somebody's going to get caught, there's going to be a snowball effect. I'm going to try and save you because nobody's saying it's going to be feed one by one by saving him, trying to save him, save your buddy syndrome.
Because the idea of how to quote-unquote help him is not really there, right?
So leave him. You have to talk by saying leave me.
Yeah, or sell me. And it's also some situations where Mirage, as we see, just continuously getting caught out. That's supposed to be your mid laner, and he doesn't really quite gather the same terror as Aincrad did. Look at him go. Around to deal with him, but they just don't have the damage. I mean, at this point, it felt like the game was far gone already. But what a moment here for Level Up, and I love that you pointed it out, Winter, because this is very important. Even though they might lose the next game in this for the confidence, because maybe you finish this tournament, you don't even win a single game, you kind of forgot, hey, we are capable of this. When we put our minds together and we communicate well and we keep sharp, we can outplay these teams. This is something we can do.
Yeah. The feeling when you get to win a game, because I'm sure at this point they already forgot what does it feel like to win a game.
Exactly.
Because they've lost every single game they've played in the group stage.
Let's see whether they can continue and put a series in their pocket, or whether game number 2 will go L1's way after a short break.
Play is in our DNA. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
We were
Thanks
there.
for the follow!
For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
Game of Dota 2, which I know, we're at EWC with Dota 2 here in Paris, and winning one game, that's just the road there. But for Level Up, unfortunately, their road has already ended, right? Winter, for them, it's not really that story of glory that we're all trying to chase, that all these other bigger teams are trying to get to. For them, maybe it's a journey of learning a little bit. And as you said earlier on, just remembering that you can actually win is kind of a big deal for the confidence. It's a really big boost.
Yeah, remembering how to win, knowing what to do in the game to close out the game, it's very important. You've been losing, you've been getting overpowered by your opponents, all which weight lifted out of the shadow. Oh, we still remember how to play Dota, we still remember how to win the games, and I'm sure they'll be riding the momentum, and it's hard to say the same for L1, I think this is a matchup where I don't know if they're a huge favorite, but at least in this series, and losing the first game in that sort of manner, you gotta imagine the momentum is just gonna be downward, for them.
Yeah, it really, part of it is the hero, right? Viper, he doesn't really give you very much options if you make mistakes like that. You kind of need to play for the lane, and then you play for the lane and you need to push the issue further. Any mistake.
And if you're not winning the lane up, I think initially he was doing really well in the lane. It was good. It was good enough. But at some point, I think it was when they were sieging the tower, he died when he was sieging the tower. The Ember somehow, I don't remember how, but the Ember killed him when they were sieging the tower because he didn't back early enough. The enemy team brought the supports over to the mid lane. And that's something that it shouldn't be allowed to happen.
There's no way that should happen.
You see the heroes missing, you have to understand, you need to back off. It's enough, you've already pressured enough, you need to back off, and then you have to tell us, oh, their supports came mid, you guys can, farm the side lanes because you've already drawn their attention towards you. And the last, how? But you're not allowed to die.
If you die as the Viper versus the Ember, you better have killed. Get Roche and then you die to that, okay, we'll give you that one. But of course, going back into game number 2, I think the biggest thing that stood out to me is the immediate reactions from the players on Level Up, right? They were previously in their other series, sure, they weren't necessarily despairing, but they also didn't seem very confident. They didn't have that, not smiles all around. People aren't really loose, per se. And then now you can kind of see maybe some of the stress set in because, yes, this game doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Yes, both these teams are already out. But at least for L1, they get as much as they can, and this does not feel good, right? Maybe you're starting to think, guys, we're going to TI, can't take down Level Up? Like, how is that going to pan out?
Yeah, it's going to affect your mental state a lot, but that's a part of the game. Not every day you're going to be able to show up, and when the days you're down, you got to figure out what's the problem and figure out how to get back up. I think this is going to be a huge challenge. This is an important challenge for L1 to overcome. They need to figure out what was the problem and how they're going to solve it, and they seem to believe Ember is the solution.
Interesting. Okay. maybe saying that Aincrad, you don't get your Ember, you're not going to be able to play this game. Which is interesting. I feel like Aincrad, you know, unless you ban out all the spirit heroes, he's always going to be able to find something to create chaos with. Sure, it hasn't looked amazing in the previous few series, but that's because they were losing as a whole, so I don't know whether I can blame him. What do you think is this Ember response to the SF4?
No idea.
It's a bit weird, right?
This is something that you don't usually do against SF.
Yeah.
Ember is not a counter to SF, I think.
Maybe they feel like Aincrad doesn't have any good heroes into Ember. That could be one. You have DP and SF, it's like... I guess it's fine, right? Because DP can act as the front of the triangle.
Except you want stuns, you want catch.
Okay.
You want heroes that allow you to right click. It might not come from the mid lane, but it has to come from somewhere. Support, off lane, butter. They really like the double range supports.
Yeah. Any reason why they are straying away from the Dark Willow, you reckon? Because they liked that combination the previous game against the Bane, and now they're switching it up.
Hoodwink is just stronger. Because Hoodwink is more reliable in your initiation. Like if you're Dark Willow, what is the initiation? You have to land your Bramble, then Terrorize. Or land your Terrorize, then Bramble.
Also doesn't need to get into melee range, right? Like can just shoot from afar, which is a pretty big deal. Off-laner into this Shadow Fiend are starting to thin out. And we already know, we've covered this over the first few dates, and another support. If not, it's not going to pan out. So what's a good option left? I guess the Hoodwink's also like really reliable because if you save the Bushwhack, you can just always cancel the Fiend's Grip. Like it's so easy for you to spot the Bane, especially early game, and then nullify that. There's Clockwork. Wow, quick picks. Clockwork Batrider, probably going to be your position, I want to say 4 and 3. So now back to components of...
I've already seen this one time. I can't remember who was it that did it. It was the bat against SF matchup. You can create opportunities to pressure and kill this hero, and then you combine that with a gate from the Bane. Takis is not the best. I wouldn't say it's the best bodyguard, you know. Like you kind of, you're not an Undying, you're not a Clock, you're not a Tusk, you're not any like 3M protector. Like,
yeah, you don't really get in the way, right? Yeah. You're the carry. Yeah, I see the picture.
You can level up, find a pick here to give them a very clear game plan. They need a catch hero. They need something to set up for the supports. There's no Ember. So the remaining ones are like Pango. Okay, so they go for another Spirit hero, so they go for the Void Spirit. I mean, I wouldn't say he's gonna win lane against Ember. It's like a... Okay, if anything, I feel like Ember is gonna win the trades in most cases against the Void Spirit. They're just picking a hero that's really good for them. And at the same time, Clock, Bane, I think Void Spirit can have a good time in the team fights here, especially when you get your Aghanim's. You're gonna be able to silence, especially the Bane, take him out of the fights. So and Lifestealer is the ban here. So Lifestealer. So what does that indicate? They wanna
Centaur?
Maybe Centaur. Lifestealer is good against most of the strength offlaners. The Centaur, the Dawn, the Underlord.
Oh, that's Baby 3 Pax's entire hero pool you just named right there.
Yep. That's the conventional heroes right now for the offlane.
Yep.
The standard heroes.
I guess the teamfight initiation, I feel like the Tide Underlord makes a lot of sense. Just that area control.
Yeah, the Underlord is also going to provide you with another catch for the Ember Spirit, the root.
Then you root into Bushwhack if they don't chop it fast enough. Yeah, because L1, I'm looking at their lineup. Apart from being able to poke and prod, they also need to mostly commit in to try and get these kills, right? If you run into a Tide Hunter, number one, it's going to be hard to run past him. Number two, he can just... They got a few BKB, actually multiple BKB piercing disables, but if you're all ravaged before you can even do anything, it's tricky. I guess there'll also have to be a timing that L1 play for. I like the Tide here. I think that's pretty solid. The Kling's ban, does that... Maybe they will... I guess just a bad core-to-core matchup for the SF. You mentioned before that Kling's, if you get on top of the SF, you would just shred him.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that it suggests that they're gonna go for a Zoo. But yeah. They ban out the Tide, so all the frontline tanks, most of it has been the good. Like, which one is he going to go for here? I think it's what, Underlord and Dawn. Dawn, we didn't really see this hero a lot. With the absence of Storm, I think Storm plus Dawn was like the best combination we had last couple of months. And during this,
looked okay. There's the Beastmaster that comes through.
Zoo plus SF, so they have again a very, very deadly 5-man ball. And
Kind of borrowing a concept from L1.
Alright, Gyrocopter is the Zoo counter.
Yes, it is.
Because the rest of the heroes are all single target, so they needed somebody who can run out everything here for them. But does it outskill the SF? I'm pretty sure no. SF is going to outscale SF. But on the other hand, it targets at the SF's weak early game. You can gate with your barrage. You have for the level up, the L1 side, you know, whereas the level up side, you need to wait for your helm, you need to wait for the overlord. SF wants to farm. Void Spirit is kind of like the only one that can actually move, you know, so he has to create enough space for the Beast and SF to farm. He basically has 2 carries that he needs to take care active on the map. He wants to kill heroes and he wants to participate with the bat the most, and even with the Ember. So there's going to be a lot of moves made early, and there's going to be a lot of pressure applied to the SF in the early stages.
So active, and on the other, you have one person as the main babysitter for 2. I feel like I know the obvious answer here.
I mean, it's hard to say though. I don't think that's a clear favorite here. Which lineup is going to have the, I think, practical upper hand.
Right.
I mean, you can maybe say that ease of execution wise, easier to be the one defending, like the one that has the SF and Beast. You're defending your triangle, defending your side of the jungle. You're waiting for the opponents to attack. Their lineup is just very, very reliant on the early game going well. They have to snowball the game. If the early game does not go well, your gyro is not attacking through the gates, killing the SF, you're not winning the rune battles with your Bane and Clock, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Bane and Clock cannot deal with the Zoo, and you're heavily reliant on the gyro to deal with the Zoo. So the gyro can flag the creeps, the neutral camps.
Okay. Clear those out immediately. But we've seen this before. When you try and counter the Beastmaster and his boss in the lane, he just maxes axes and then he goes farm the triangle. Like, is there any counterplay to that, you reckon?
You steal his triangle. You go to it if he's stacking your gyro. Like,
true.
Go and steal it, you know.
Yeah, this is something we didn't mention as well. The gyro can do that.
They have the Ember Spirit, which is also another hero that can be very active in stealing the camp, so he can definitely go with the gyro together to do it.
Oh, respect. Being body blocked up. Really nicely done by Queasy, allowing for the balls to come through. And Baby 3-Packs and Queasy will slowly but surely run down Respect. And that's first blood drawn for the Beastmaster. He's in a bad matchup, but this is a great start for him.
Yeah, very, very nice kill there. It's just so determined how quickly you can get the Helm of Iron Will. The faster you can get it, the more stable your lane becomes.
And also, the faster you scale up on the Beast, but once the Beastmaster gets even the Helm Dom, he can start applying pressure, and then it's not all on it.
In the SF, it's also going to be like a very, very important point of attack, you know, for L1. They need to set up a gate gang, you know. These are going to be very, very important things they have to, like, it's a check on the side things. I think the mid lane is probably the least important lane, for that is the more important objective in this lineup.
Find a way to make it happen. It's going to be Flat Cannon pushing out the waves, and then because of that, your opponents will have a hard time knowing whether you're through the twin gates or whether you're just back pulling the small camp. Queasy's already rotated over to try and tip the balance of this mid lane matchup at minute 2 as a level 1 Hoodwink.
Yeah, this is a very big deal because this matchup is a matchup where it's very volatile. Anyone can, like, even though I said Ember is probably easy for the Ember Spirit to bully the Void Spirit out.
I mean, on the Void Spirits end, you just...
So it gives you the flexibility to leave the lane as a support. Because you don't really get to do much, right? The wave is already pushed, so you can leave your core safely farming the lane and just help the runes. But Beast is not really doing that well, you know. This is, after all, even if you can max the axe first, it's still a matchup where it's difficult for the Beastmaster.
7-1 against 17-7. That is rough. Bat Rider doing okay, matching the SF, just off by a month and a half, maybe even longer ago, Bat Rider was all the rage on the off lane. People were playing him for the idea here now. I remember we saw an off lane Bat, and he kind of went a bit more right click, right? The Dragon Lance, Hurricane Pike, try and scale up on the sticky Napalm. Do you think that's what L1 are gonna do if they corrupted Bat this game?
No idea.
Okay.
I have no idea about the mid game, what you're supposed to do, but I think the primary role, I think drums is still fine. You can get drums early because you have to kill the SF. I think the objective here is to ruin the SF's early game, so you need to buy items that allow you to do that. Right. I think what you buy to shut down the SF in the early game, he needs to be.
Thanks for the follow.
I want to say kill at least like 2 times. Like if you can kill him once or twice in the first 6-10 minutes, that would be great. You know, that would be your objective. You can snowball off the lane. Bat is somehow like a very, very good counter to SF because SF is very weak against repositioning heroes, and Bat, you can pull him in the middle of the team fight to your team to kill him first.
Yeah. We saw this concept first tested by Rune Eaters, right? They picked the Bat Rider as the pos 4, but now the pos 3 Bat Rider hunting down Woe. Hatred offers his body as a sacrifice, but no more Firefly soon. Corrupted will just flap his wings back to safety, clearing out the entire small camp and the creep wave. Amassing quite a bit of farm here. Pretty quiet early game, all things considered, as everybody's just happy to trade and farm. No one really plotting any major moves yet. Perhaps the 6-minute rune will change that. Those 2 spirits in the mid lane, you gotta make sure you have that one on lock. Corrupted taking quite a bit of damage. Hatred with the chase down, needs a few more auto attacks. TP out in the trees. Nice play there from the Bat Rider, but has to get back to base. Meanwhile, Clockwork not quite as lucky. A big kill for Queasy. Meanwhile, L1 gonna try and use this catapult to pressure the tower. Level 6 already for Mirage. This could be a good timing for him to maybe bully Inkrat, but
the runes.
Yeah.
The real prize is the runes.
Off the mark there with the blast off. Hatred's not gonna have that available for the rune fight. Who's gonna be able to grab it? Support's rotating over. The regen rune snatched up by Queasy. Nice little double bushwhack. But the problem is he doesn't have the blast off, so he can't necessarily follow up. Gonna try and at least turn around on the Clockwork to set up for a kill, but now Mirage. But the bomb still chases him. Mirage quite literally playing with fire there when he didn't need to. He could have escaped a lot earlier on. Tried to bait out more spells, but ends up baiting himself and goes down.
I mean, just somehow not really respecting the fact that he's gonna die for that kill, you know. Definitely not worth it for him to go all in on the Hoodwink. Probably better to just let his support die and just leave.
Even if he remnanted earlier, it might never have been worth it, right? Like, it's like he was already taking a bad trade.
And now level up. Oh my god, he just walked over as Shadow Fiend alone.
Nice Requiem.
That was some crazy shit right
That
there.
was badass is what I'm saying. That guy did not care.
SF of all carries to try and contest. Now he's in trouble.
Is he though? His team's TPing in. He's got backup. Corrupted might be in trouble. Thank God for the sleep, but it's not gonna save him. Whoa! He knows exactly what to do. The Corrupted tries to take advantage of his position, but Woe takes advantage of the bat instead.
Yeah, that was a huge overplay there by Bat Rider. The sleep was also not useful because the bat already had some damage over time on the SF, so he wakes up immediately. Yeah, that was just a
weird one.
Huge weird one. Huge mistake. And now the runes are gonna spawn. L1, can they still bring enough heroes? Now Respect is the one to go down.
Nice tree cut there.
Oh, they're going for he actually gets the runes, so that was actually fine.
Yeah.
You would give your life gladly as a support in trade of the runes here for your mid laner, the Aether Remnant.
Right. Gonna take some damage on Mirage, but still got the safety remnant to play around with. This time round, he won't take no chances. I say that, but here comes. That was greedy with a capital G, and he pays the price for it. I feel like I'm starting to notice a pattern in this series where Mirage and his greed and maybe his lack of respect for what his opponents can do is going to cost L1 big time.
Yeah, that was a very unnecessary death again, you know, like similar to the first game, like he had a couple of really unnecessary bad deaths in the game, and that was one of them, just going so greedy to just get one creep. Thinking that he was able to is so bad. The risk to do that to get one creep, like getting one creep doesn't change the face of the game. 100%.
It's kind of like what we were talking about with, I don't know, with his Viper as well, right? Like he's taking risks that have no reward. Like that was 40 gold that he gambled his life on and he lost. And now it has severe implications for the rest of the game.
And the stacks, you know, here comes the Ember, here comes the Gyro, they're going to be ready to take the stacks. They see the stack, they control the runes, and if the Ember gets the rune, they can contest the stacks. And level up, bring...
And they lose it, because the Ember has a clockwork on one side. You've said this before, Winter.
Yeah, it's very difficult to walk in the king of the runes. Zayat.
Oh, Hatred just dies there. Alright. Call downs through. Steal the stacks. I mean, this is severe economic damage to level up. But only up until this point. I feel like L1 were on the back foot. This is a good move though. I don't know about you. I kind of get the feeling that even though the Shadow Fiend is pretty farmed, I think L1 are in a bit of a better... Yeah, but despite all of this, I still feel like L1 are in a good spot.
I mean, they need to be ahead, you know, with their lineup right now. If they go into the mid game 50-50 against the SFBs, this is going to be very difficult for them. I think they need to find the urgency. They need to snowball. They need to get kills. Kills are the ones that are going to start the snowball right now. And I think Wo on the SF, once again, making the move. He's been really active with the SF this game, moving to the runes, now going through the gates, attacking the tier 1 tower, helping BB3 packs to get to his timings much faster. So he understands that they have a much slower drop. It's usually like a very bad situation in the game because somebody is going to die. So he's choosing to make his plays for the team and allow the Beastmaster to get to his helm timing so Beastmaster can pressure the mid tower later and then he can farm on the SF.
There are big stacks available for the Bat Rider to farm. Recover a bit of his net worth that way. But yeah, I agree with you. I've been really impressed with Wo today. I feel like he's just unlocked a different dimension of his gameplay. This whole concept of being active and making space for the team, whether it's the Alchemist, whether now, with this new... It's not even new, it's like... I feel like SFs generally play a bit more reserved than he has. He's kind of put his balls on the table and said, you know what? Here's how it's gonna go. L1 don't really have a response to it at the moment. I will say the Gyro is still farming up a Storm.
And a key moment is going to Dom. If the SF gets the Aegis, it's going to be very difficult, I think, for L1. They have to be able to contest the Rosh. I mean, you're right on the Gyro being fat, but he needs